And sort of something I wanted to touch on a little bit before we really got into the depths of it is that sort of disparity in the age gap lineup diff, I guess you can say, looking at it however you want. TSM, obviously an incredibly storied organization, yes, and it feels to me like they've gone safe. They've picked up Valdo, they've picked up Nico, they've picked up Acor, they've picked up Zyphon, they've rolled the dice with Syrah, and I'm not going to get to say any more than that because we are straight into the pistol here on Dust2. Of course, TSM opted to start over on the CT side with a heavy-handed B-stack on the pistol. They've read this one beautifully.
Looks like they have. Ice Balance has got that smoke lined up all well and good, but there's a number of players they've got to get past first. Valda, back plat, Syrah already getting a headshot. Agusha's come through and he needs to deliver. I was going to say he was whiffing, but he connects with that second finally, and then immediately the final 2 kills come through after that. That is very obviously, as you mentioned, Wolfie, a hard read.
Yeah, someone's done their homework. Someone is very, very ready for this matchup. And I hate to say it, but it's very early doors for 9-pounders to be looking a little bit rattled. You saw it just for a split second there, trying to take a fight back site. Guy up at car, he takes the peak. Nobody's really swinging to trade that car player whatsoever, and the heads are just getting ripped off left, right, and center. It's a tough pistol for 9-pounders on their map pick. You know, we talked about that looming nuke in the background, knowing how good TSM have looked there and how solid they've been. This round, wow, this is a good old-fashioned French eco, isn't it? All 5 in spawn.
Yes, sir.
Have a chat about the strats and just let the CTs waste as much utility as they fancy.
Exactly, and this is just literally talking about the opening gun round. This is all this is, and the utility wastage too, of course. Every little helps. If TSM use it all, they'll, of course, have to repurchase it. And yeah, I think a little bit of a conversation about 9-pounders as well. You mentioned sort of the age disparity. There is a little bit of that on 9-pounders as well, don't forget. Like Glowing, people don't really think of that with Glowing because he had that ridiculous performance at the Copenhagen RMR to qualify. And, you know, heartbreakingly, they didn't actually get to play because of the, I think the visa issues, right? So,
yep.
Yeah, incredibly upsetting for them. And they'll feel like they deserve another major shot. And Glowing had quite literally a life game. I think he got like 87 over 3 maps or something ridiculous like that to qualify through that. And in the end, of course, unfortunately, had to give up their spot to Gamer Legion. So, yeah, I think if he's got that in him to do it once more, I could definitely see them continuing to push on. But I feel like he has cooled off a little bit since that performance, and it is more Dilladez now. It is more Wrestle. Even Shelfie as the leader has been putting in good numbers, and that's probably the main reasons why I mentioned earlier, right? I want to see more from Idas Balance.
Well, first opportunity to really see what 9-pounders have got in the locker. No AWP, of course, no cash left for Idas Balance. Acor will get his up towards Kenny. And a heavy long presence shown early by TSM, just trying to make absolutely sure they don't get ran down. They'll know full well that 9-pounders like a bit of a death ball, like to try and push the issue. So just leaving Resox behind this smoke. It's an off angle for Syrah, and it gets him a tag, about half his damage done. Nothing more than that, though, and it's a little read as well for 9-pounders. Start to realise that that's probably a bit of a long stack coming in based on the fact that Syrah's boosted up on blue. And then they look to group towards short.
Yeah, it's a good boost to put in on a round like this, of course. It's technically your bonus round, even though it's only round 3 and you've got all the rifles still, but obviously still got that FAMAS in play. The MP9s and getting that M4 boosted up is very handy. Nico, of course, is on the CT box as well. There'll be a nade in toward the position. If they get up toward window, he should find one, but Acor's found his. That could be enough until Idas Balance gets a really nice shot. Bomb dropped in the open, and Valda gets his as well. B site is taken. They will just be able to scarper that bomb over, and there is a retake coming in for TSM.
This is one of those situations for 9-pounders where we talked about needing to take the adjustment, needed to be a little better. Zyphon just full knife out, running into the tunnels. Just seemingly unaware that Glowing could have had that advanced and after plant already. And at that point, well, it's CS2, it's MR12, it's a CT side economy situation. Acor is going to save that big green no matter what. Backs himself off towards a long. 9-pounders will have their first round. I was going to say, before we got into the thick of that this would be a first real test, sort of after plant situation, 2v2, Glowing and Idas Balance. Let's see what they can do now they've lost some of those sort of entry players. You know, we talk about Dilladez, Result, Shalfie to a certain extent as well. Let's see if they can start to steady the ship in the after plants. Not really needed this one, though. Zyphon kind of gave up a bit of a freebie, even though Glowing very nearly made a mess of that kill.
It is true. It is true. I actually covered Imperial's Challenger League playoff game last night. They got absolutely destroyed by Insanity, which made no sense whatsoever. And there was one moment exactly like that where I think it may have been Try had his knife out for way too long. And it's very frustrating to watch. Of course, we had the X-ray. We know what's going on. He doesn't. But there must have been some form of communication there where, like, he's saying both sight or whatever, which causes him to keep his knife out for too long. Is a bit of an oversight to not be as ready as he should have been. And of course, as we spoke about earlier, he is so imperative for this TSM team in its current guise. But 9 Pandas do get their gun round in their favour, of course. The money hasn't been built up for TSM, so this is their last repurchase back in with that saved AWP. MP9 and a FAMAS alongside the two A1Ss.
Nice use of the util from 9 Pandas. Aware that that AWP probably is still in the server. I don't think Acor actually fired a shot last round, so not 100% certain. But aware it's a distinct possibility. There's a saved something somewhere, and Acor's the man to have saved it, so it's probably an AWP. Just using the util, clearing out Kenny. And now looking for that long take. First test for the young gun. Off angle for Sierra. It's a tough clear this. There's a lot of angles for you to corner out, and Sierra does well. Grabs his first. Wide swing from Shalfie. Will find the trade though, and again it's going to be that pressure towards long. This time Acor tested, missing a couple. Third bite hit, and it lands. It's a couple of whiff shots initially from 9 Pandas, but they managed to stabilize well. High balance AWP in hand. Bomb will make the cross. And at this point, CT side again, gonna have to start asking some questions. I mean, Valde's got an M4. Nico perhaps a little less keen to save as you see him flying through T-spawn to see if maybe there's a rifle to be salvaged somewhere. But Valde's not interested in this one whatsoever.
That was well figured out by 9 Pandas, but in the end it comes down to the fact that Acor's missed 2 critical shots. Like, he's allowed to recover and hit the third, but he could have got 2 kills and it could have changed the complexion of the round without a shadow of a doubt. Maybe he deals with those 2 players on long and then gets a chance to focus towards short and the site players pushing in. Not to be. And 9 Pandas are in a very good position now, knowing full well that we've got a relatively low buy to deal with in the next. Nico has upgraded to a Galil, but we realise those are the only 2 guns that have been saved. In the end, it was a decent play from 9 Pandas. It was mostly, the most important thing for me as well was clearing Sierra out of this position right here. First one is good. The second one was just a clean wide swing from Shavli, realising that he needs to peek at a different angle to throw that crosshair placement off.
Yeah, really smart play. And that Acor, shall we call it series of incidents, very much feels like sort of embodying what we're talking about with these 2 lineups at the moment, right? Acor, he gets his 3rd shot landed sure, but the first couple are fairly regulation for his standards anyway, and they're both missed. And on the side of 9 Pandas, if an AWP misses the first shot, you have got to be trading it down. You can't be giving him 2nd bites, 3rd bites at it, right? You've got to be getting on top of that early. And they'll be aware of that now coming into this round. Less of a concern, but down the way. As at 2-all, they'll look to try and start stabilising that T-side economy. Decent amount in the bank already. 5 rifles, of course, on the board. And, well, they'll be looking to keep 5 more into the next.
Little know he needs to go aggressive for something, and the boost on short is attempted with the Galil of Nico. You know, why not? You have to go for something like that. Dinadez doesn't check his corners properly, so that's a free USP kill on Sierra, and probably a chance to cross and grab that gun when he feels a little bit safer.
Timing on Valdo.
Could work. As they will make the bomb up short, actually, and yeah, he did just basically clear out tunnels straight up very early round. So he's going to have a big flank, whether it's short or long, pretty quickly. He's in suicide right now. He's very much in the middle of the map, but I'm not sure if he's going to be in the right place quick enough.
That's a tough one to swallow, to be fair, for Valde, because he couldn't realistically have flanked that any quicker. He made his way all the way out to tunnels. He was as careful as he could possibly be. He gets all of that map control. And then it ends in nothing because they just happened to head up shortly before he would have been in a position to really have some impact and get something done with it. Manages to save across though. Sarah will pick up that AK, courtesy of, as you said, a slightly fortuitous USP kill. A dink onto glowing from Zyphon as well. They are keeping the damage up here. And Nine Pandas need to be a little careful. Don't want to throw too much away in this round. Don't want to give too many rifles over. So with 4 players alive, they'll head out towards long. They'll save this one down, but it's not a bad result at all for TSM. You know, I mean, they come into it with 2 rifles. They leave with 3. Can't really complain.
It's the boring option, we all know that, but it's also the right option, and it sets up their economy a lot better for the rest of the half, even if they are to lose this next round, because they can buy up full util and still have something to use in the round after, especially if they save again with even 1 player. So there's definitely something there. Unfortunately, there isn't enough cash to drop an AWP over, so Acor is going to have to make do with being a glass cannon in this round. Full 4,750 bought up with $100 to spare. We're taking long once again. There's information on 2 separate players.
Tough fight to take this one for Sierra. Manages to smoke himself in. Zyphon does well on the blow of the smoke, gets away with 1. Sierra finds another. And suddenly, this round is starting to fall apart. Glowing with a nice reaction shot, but on 2 HP, he's going to have to get out of dodge. And somehow, TSM, from an initial long take loss, have managed to nab a couple of kills and just keep Nine Pandas questioning this one a little bit. Shalfie, though, lurking towards the other side of the map. Does he expect Nico? Throws the smoke. He's hoping to fake out the idea that they are headed towards that B bomb site, at least initially. Nico going to be able to call that's not the case, but where does the bomb want to go? It is going to be the double fake out. Back towards the B bomb site. I disbalance to lurk in towards mid and hopefully catch the rotations. Do they know Nico's here at all? Or is Glowing just going to wander in? Has Shalfie called this wide open for the taking? Oh no, Nico gets a gift. And that's bombed down inside the B bomb site. I disbalance activates exactly how he was supposed to. Grabs the first of the rotate kills, but now Shalfie has got to clear out this man inside a site. Window peaks too early. And Zyphon, we talked about how critical he was. He's given up the kill that may well let Nine Pandas back into this round. 1v2 for Nico, and he's caught in no man's land. How have Nine Pandas rescued that one?
That's just, I think TSM actually just play that a little bit too safe. I know obviously Zyphon does overpeak toward window, but Nico in particular plays it a bit too safe. Like, he gets his 1 kill and he probably realizes that, you know, he can then move because of Zyphon's position. Like, he doesn't just need to sit there all that time. And Zyphon peeks because he's trying to help Nico in that position, because obviously if Shalfie goes up on close tunnels boxes, he could just leap across the angle and probably just straight up clear him on a really weird angle for Nico to try and deal with. So that's why Zyphon peaks, but I think Nico is a little bit too static there perhaps. And it costs TSM, even though they're in a good position. Smash into the smoke will be completely messed up. Felder gets blinded by his teammate, and things are going from bad to only slightly worse, but that was a rough watch.
Tough pill to swallow. And off the back of it, Nine Pandas will do what is sensible and go straight into a long take. Knowing that that initial aggression didn't pan out, there's likely limited presence. They do make a bit of a fluff of their own util, at least initially, but the flashes will come out, the clears will come through. Long confirmed open, and at this point, again, for TSM, this is a rough situation to be in. Yes, they've got the short control, which is what you always say. If you're going to concede long, you've got to be taking short. You've got to give yourself some kind of a platform to do something inside of the site. But the fact of the matter is, it's 2 MP9s on short, and it's AKs all over the site. Those long-range angles going to favor these rifles so much. Acor does jump spot out Shalfie. But with the site being taken in the meanwhile, you could kind of see the idea with a couple of MP9s. Let's swing into mid. Let's try and trade out that AK. And they are actually going to commit to it off the back of that spot. Shalfie tagged up, dealt with in a 1-for-1. That's a nice little result. AK-47 to save. And unfortunately, given the nature of CS2's economy as it is, I think that's about as much action as we're going to see. Maybe a couple of attempted exits from TSM on those MP9s, but iDisbalance has had enough of that.
Yeah, Shalfie does well to actually get that one in the end. Small point, but he plays that situation top mid pretty well. Like, as soon as he sees that he's got jump spotted mid doors, he thinks, okay, there can be some short aggression come in here, and I could get caught off guard. And yes, he falls back to a more common angle. Hits at least one long-range spray, which is not the easiest in the world. To pull down a lot for that one. And in the end, the AK and MP9 is saved, as we mentioned. So Acor, MP9, I doubt it will be kept. He's got 6,400, absolutely on a map like Dust2. Chuck that away, grab the AWP. This time he has armor to work with. And for TSM, really, this kind of has to be the round.
Feels weird to be saying that already, but the round's been going by awful quick for them. And as you said, it's starting to get towards do or die time. Standard default from 9Pandas. Pretty much what they've been doing, bread and butter every round so far. That hasn't been a more aggressive lean to start things off. 3 into the lower tunnels, 1 to hold off long aggression, 1 towards top and mid, and ooh, Acor gets the better of Idis Balance. That's a tough peak for Idis Balance to try and take. Obviously trying to prove to you he's a bit more of a dynamic author, but not quite to be.
Yeah, that's one of the main criticisms that I think my good man Hayes spoke to me about as well. Like, especially, it's not just the rating. It's not like we're doing it purely off of seeing his rating being quite low for an AWPer and thinking, It's also just seeing him play quite defensive. And 9Pandas have got the aggression now, thanks to Wrestle, that's for sure. But I think to just take them to that extra level, something bit extra for Idis Balance would be nice. He has been trying to change it. He has been going for more peaks like we just saw. That one, unfortunately for him, doesn't work out. Shalfie, the secondary AWPer of this team, it deserves to be said, picked it up. They have made their way through mid. Bomb is in that position in mid, actually, and this is now very close to those B tunnels. There are 2 players on short for TSM in Zyphon and Acor. And once again, Nico is stuck car, but this time he does have site support immediately. But Glowing will remove him. Valda, has he been seen? I don't think so. Playing the long game, though, might be a bit too defensive, and it's happened again. Dilladez just clears it, and TSM, again, get caught.
I'm going to be honest, that one perplexes me a little bit. I don't know whether TSM were maybe thinking it's all a ruse and it's a double fake, and that's why we're going to leave sort of 2 players towards short and 1 out long without really committing to the rotation. I mean, Zero, it's a nice exit kill, but that's all it is. And they kind of just left those 2 B players. And as much as, yes, it's a nice crossfire between Nico and Valde, and yes, they've got the angles to work with, they are still on an island. They're being pushed out from mid. They're having to drop util to try and contend with that. They've got a player lurking out the tunnels with a smoke to work around. Just feels like you should have seen from TSM somebody starting to try and get something going, whether it's a re-aggression up short to try and peek lower tunnels to try and catch the fast flank through mid, whether it's as simple as blowing that CT smoke and trying to get some eyes on what's going on and trying to get some kind of second support line ran for the B players. Just felt like none of that happened, and everyone just sort of sat there and either got traded or got one and died and then went, well, where's the site gone?
In Valda's example there, we saw it from his POV. Yes, he's thinking that maybe he goes unchecked for a split second, and of course he's worried about getting, I guess, maybe peeked from window, knowing mid's been taken. So he's just basically crouching for as long as possible, but I think it's quite an obvious thing to say that 1, he didn't activate quick enough, and 2, he didn't really activate at all, because he never really peeked, never really swung for anything, never really went for the trade on Glowing, which would have been something I think most pros would have done in that scenario. Then got cleared by Dilladez. So, yeah, again, a bit too static.
The only way that works is if you've got a fast play coming in through short or through mid, or you've got something, right, to try and essentially let Valde play for time and put a backstab in place. Not to be. Another one that just feels a little icky, I guess, is the best word for it. Just feels like it just leaves with a sour taste in the mouth. Missed AWP shot to open things up from Idis Balance this time, though. Trying to get a boost on, trying to spot out that short aggression. Had his opportunity, couldn't quite land it. A second chance at life for TSM in this round. And they want to keep an eye on mid, but that's a beautiful little flash into Acor from Shalfie. Just a little techie thing, and it gives Glowing an absolute gift of an angle. Opening pick actually leaves the B-bomb site completely exposed, and this is where we start to see Shalfie grow his legs as an in-game leader. The kind of call to double back. Result gets 1. Zyphon does well to trade, but he's low and he's so easily dealt with. Valde tries for a little bit of magic through the smoke, but Glowing, well, he's an old head. He's seen that far too many times to fall for it. Gets the free kill. 7th round on the board for 9Pandas, and Nico's not going to allow to survive this one. That is a lightning shot from Result as well. Ouch.
Yeah, that is the Result we know and love there, that's for sure. They know Nico's the B player. They knew they were totally safe after that kill on Valda. It's simple, that's for sure, but good calls made. Sort of that moment in the round there, Shalfie knew it was a pretty safe trade as well, especially on an advantageous angle, having the high ground. And as you say, that flash in toward the B site toward Acor's position. Basically gave him no chance. And look at the money 9 Pandas have built up as well. It's very comfortable, and the boost in toward top mid. Acor and Iris Balance go up against each other, but one hits a body shot and one only hits a leg shot.
That's going to sting watching the demo back. And this fast mid to B now has so many legs. It's so simple. Shalfie gets the kill on Zyphon, who you could see was thinking about it, and he was in a position to make that rotate a reality. But just caught half a second too soon on the angle for his readiness. And they don't even bother going mid-B. They're going to go straight back up onto the A bomb site. Sierra and Nico, they do have a nice pivot angle towards long here. With Idis balanced low HD, they should be able to hold on to it. The problem is, without Valde getting something done here, this feels like it should be impossible. He does find one, though. Dilladez goes down. Sierra gets the freebie onto Idis balance, and suddenly, it's a 3-on-3. 9 Pandas with a little bit of limited sight control. Valde trying to sneak his way up CT. Spotted out. Nico's nades deals with Result. And we've got a retake on our hands. Shalfie does very well from short, but his position now known. The site player spotted as well. This is good for TSM. They're starting to clear their way up. Wallbang connects onto Glowing. And for the in-game leader of Shalfie, it's a 1v2. He's got no util to work with. He's got nothing to play off of. Nico is just going to straight up stick this one down, and Sierra's there to provide Overwatch. A much-needed third round for TSM.
That was a lot better. And the one thing that 9 Pandas will look at the VOD, I'm sure, and look at is the fact that Dilladez overpeaks in CT. There was no reason with the amount of control he had, as we see the replay of that AWP duel in mid. Nice flick from Idis Balance. For him to be in that position after this kill here, then he ducks into CT, then he dies to Valda. It was a left eye peek on that swing, which seemed pretty unnecessary when he had all of CT spawn under his control. And losing that meant that TSM actually had a path through. And in the end, that might actually get them off and running for a possible mini comeback at the end of this half. They've got a 5v4 here. They're going to have to do it the hard way to break down all this money in these final 2 rounds. Obviously, there's going to be no eco to deal with in these final 2 rounds of the half. So, it's going to be tough, but great retake. Could set them up for 5. Who knows?
Certainly should give him a little bit of hope of it at the very least. Nico, well, he knows he's on a bit of a death mission here because he's dropped all his util, but he's hoping to be flashed in, hoping to get something. Glowing stays tucked. Doesn't opt to swing initially. Just wants to maintain that control in towards mid. It's a 3B lean from TSM. They think they've got the read on this. And Nico wants more. He wants to get flashed back in. The timing on this could be good. There's a couple of full blind players. Nico, it's messy to start with, but he adjusts the spray well. And now we got to see 9 Pandas if maybe they can make something of a 3-on-5. And Dilladez single-handedly opens up the A-bomb site. A running double spray, you have to say. And now Shalfie, secondary author in towards mid, is just having none of it. And they're going to hunt. They're going to try and take Zyphon down, and that's the bomb! 9 Pandas are hunted with the bomb, and they're giving it to Zyphon. 2 clean headshots, and he's got a 1v1 inside of this B-bomb site to save TSM. Their blushes, and he can't quite do it. It's absolute carnage, but it's 9 Pandas who come out on top.
What kind of goofy ARAM was that? Goodness gracious me. I mean, we'll have some replays, but it's going to give you basically no tell of how that round played out because that was so ridiculous. Look at that leap in there from Nico. Like, you may as well leap in with your gun out to guarantee the kill. Like, he was in the middle of the pull-out animation going for that trade. Would have removed Shalfie from the equation and probably won that round considering what Zyphon just did. And he almost wins it all alone. But in the end, dealt with by Shalfie, switching back to the AK. Utterly ridiculous. I could talk about that round for another few minutes, but we've got this final round of the half to come in first.
Clean entry from Glowing. You can understand it from TSM. Losing that last round, 3v5 conversion going backwards. They want to get proactive with it. Flashed into the tunnels doesn't quite work out. Nico does catch Glowing, getting perhaps a little too keen in the B tunnels, though. Finds the trade, albeit on low HP, and 4-on-4. We've seen Zyphon's angle go unchecked before, but this time looks much more Route 1 from 9 Pandas. Not really seen this from them, other than that initial pistol, which went so badly wrong. Straight B pop to be called. Nico tucks himself in. It's a one and done angle, you have to say that, and it really is one of those ones where you just hope you don't get checked. Util comes out, blocks out this B-bomb site. It's Nico against the world here, and he can't quite find the shot. A lot of damage done onto Dillard's, but no conversion. Of course, there's no save this time. Not that it looks like it's going to be allowed anyway. Resort gets the headshot onto Acor. And 2v4, the afterplants are a little bit wacky and wonky, but I don't think that's really going to matter at this point. Idis balance, we talked about him being a turret AWPer. Can't quite land that one. Zyphon once again trying to be the hero here for TSM. Both players coming out of the tunnels. MP9 behind him in the form of Sira. This is such a tough clear, and Dilladez just swings with perfect timing. It's a dominant half. 9-3 for 9 Pandas as we head to the break.
We're back to a dominant 9 Pandas and a TSM that made some significant mistakes on that CT half. Maybe not peaking as well as they should have, not being ready for things they should have. I think that messy round, the penultimate one before we went to the break, kind of said it all, I feel like. And now, pretty set up are 9 Pandas for this opening Dust 2.
Nice pistol idea, at least. Long control established. Shalfie has dealt with the fast flank, though. Found Valde out towards Kara, in fact. So it's just a 4-man push now. Zyphon does well to even the scales. Clean headshot onto Idis balance, but Shalfie and Resort are just having none of it today. One through the smoke, one clean over the top of it from that short peak, and now Sira. That's an interesting place to put a gun buddy. And Acor there with him to try and make something happen. Tapping away. Just not quite finding any accuracy with these shots. It's a nice dink at least onto Shalfie, but here's Dilladez on that backstab, and now Sira inside of the site. I mean, it's 4-on-1. It's just not fair, is it?
It's not, and it's kind of felt a bit unfair for TSM this whole game, because 9 Pandas ran riot ever since TSM read that CT pistol perfectly, if you remember. And obviously they got that 2-0 start, and they've had one round since, so might say it all. about how dominant 9Pandas have been. Yeah, we were having a little chat in the break, weren't we, about those charms. That's probably the only charm that I think looks good, but it does definitely take your vision away when you have it on the Glock in that position.
One of those things, isn't it? Just one of those things. TSM, well, they'd be wishing they could sell a couple charms and make some cash, I think, because they are struggling. They've obviously got to force into this one. Really haven't got the rounds to play with to do anything else. So it's Tex and Deagles, but glowing. Oh, the timing on that is just perfection. It feels like everything is coming up 9Pandas at the moment. Acor trying to change that picture, but it's just not quite happening for them. He gets a nice double kill. But it's both flanking players. The bomb has gone down inside the site in the meanwhile, and Shalfie, well, he was a little slow to react to the input, but he gets it nonetheless. 11 on the board. The force buy falls apart, and TSM are just going to be shaking their heads at that one because they had someone covering lower right up until the execute comes in, and that's the exact second where Glowing, with all those years of experience, decides, yeah, I'll take a swing at this and get a freebie. Exactly,
and then there's too many players to worry about for TSM at the end. Dilladez gets 3 very clean M4A4 bursts. And Shalfie helps out with the last. Shalfie is 16-6, by the way. And look at the scoreboard. Just looking at it gives you an idea how much 9Pandas are kind of hunted on T side. That was a 95 in 1 deal shot, by the way. Hunted on T side and TSM saved. Because you actually got two players still negative and 1 player even KD, and they're 11-3 up. That's like very unusual, I feel like.
Definitely an oddity. It's why we've seen HLTV adjusting the ratings, isn't it? Because people just save so much more these days. Gives us plenty of time to fill with the random nonsense that we're paid for, though, and well, this one's feeling like a bit of a random nonsense round, to be honest with you. Idis balance have been picked off towards short. As you said, Shalfie's been 95 in 1. These Deagles, they're having a lot of impact. Question is, where do they look to take this now? The double long play from 9Pandas feels like it should be impenetrable. Shalfie, albeit low HP, playing an off angle on towards long plat. He'll bait in for result on the FAMAS, who then should mop up house. Short, a possible avenue here with Glowing only on an MP9 to hold it down, but then again, that retake is such a nightmare to hold on to when you've only really got the short control to work with, and you can see already the adjustment being called in. Shalfie, again, he is low HP here, so this does get a little bit dangerous, but he's going to tuck in, wait for his timing, doesn't land it. Lovely headshot from Nico. Result trying to, again, just hit those scales back with a triple. Acor hits the shot on a jumping Glowing. And somehow we're 2v1 as Zyphon's MP9 gets another. And Dilladez can't mop up the pieces. TSM, how have you got away with that?
You know what? Fair play. They actually make exactly the right call. Not that they were to know that Glowing was in that position with the MP9. Obviously, Glowing gets all the intel he could possibly want when he strafes across mid. He takes 1 bullet of damage for it, but he sees 1 player getting up cat, 1 player close mid, about to jump on Xbox. Like, he knew what was going on. Unfortunately, I think even if, obviously, as we saw, even if Shalfie was full health, he would have been domed anyway by that Deagle of Nico. So, yeah, it didn't really change anything in the end. Good recovery from TSM. The MP9 picked up on Zyphon. Reveling in the madness. Getting another couple to finish off the round. So, pretty handy. One of their best rounds of the game. Unfortunately, it's come when they were 11-3 behind. But it is what it is. Every little helps. Build up into the series, and you never know.
Confidence booster, if nothing else, right? Just trying to get, well, some oil in the gears and really start to feel like we're moving somewhere. Heavy mid presence from TSM, pretty standard. Question is, where do they want to pivot it? Syrah out towards long kind of gives an indication that they might consider the A split here. 4 players up towards short. Try and pile the pressure on. Give him a bit of a timing. Give him half an angle, which we nearly saw in the previous round, if not for Resalt's nutty 180 with the FAMAS. Balde goes for a wander. Resalt spots him. Glowing's got to play this very cautiously, though, on such low HP. Resalt baiting the idea he swung by just tapping that Molotov, but it's an ugly MP9 spray. Glowing at range, just not quite able to handle it. Resalt gets 1, but again, 1 and done. Cleanly traded. Acor needs this kill, and he gets it. Syrah deals with the flank out towards long, and well, hello, do we have a game on our hands here, Trev?
There's a world when your opponents are on 11, you always feel like you have some form of opportunity. You know, we can afford 1 more mistake. But think it should be obviously 11-6 pretty soon as well. Depends on what they decide to do with this AK and how they want to buy around it if Dilladez saves it. He is reloading and Akor's got the perfect position on top of the outside Tons box. Dilladez will not be keeping that one. So, 11-5. That should turn into 11-6. This is a full eco, for sure. Definitely something here for TSM. Glowing, committing to that full MP9 spray on the ramp position there was definitely ill-advised, especially considering the position that... who was the first man in through short? I forget. But either way, whoever it was, committing to that full spray with an MP9, you should be bursting that every day of the week. Like, close range, you can just run and gun. That range, it's impossible to control an MP9 from there. So, if he bursted and got that kill and survived on ramp, maybe that round could be a little bit different. But it is what it is. And TSM have avoided the stack, so we'll do this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what 9 Pandas were doing there, to be honest. There was an AWP peering down mid in A-Court. He saw all 5 of them cross towards B, and he saw nobody cross back. So, they're going to go A? I'm a little lost, to be honest. I'm not quite seeing the logic from 9 Pandas, but they are going to get mopped up, of course.
Well, at the end of the day, this round was going to be, you know, a 1% chance of winning it anyway, so...
Yeah.
It happens. One gun would be nice. A good flash. It's the one flash they had, and it will eventually remove Xiphon. So that's an AK, if they can get past Valda. They can with Idis Balance. The question whether he stays alive. I don't think Valda's going to want to throw that away. So, looks like they will allow them to keep the AK. So, you know what? Goal of the round complete, pretty much.
Yeah, I hate these rounds, but you really can't ask for anything else in them. It's just like, yeah, great, got an AK. Let's see if we can get this one done now, because quite frankly, it should have been done a while ago. Be interesting to see. Can they keep this momentum up, TSM? They built nicely into this. It really did feel like we were going to start questioning map 2 because they were just going to be nowhere, but found a few rounds on the trot. Now with a fast-paced play out of long, a tag onto Akor on that AWP, but Restart's not going to clear its corners. The molly's not landed as well as they think. For Syrah, it's an absolute gift. Looking the wrong way. Trades do eventually come through to buy it back into a 3-on-3 with a couple of low HP bars to boot. But it should have been a much better position for 9 Pandas. And again, it's just those small mistakes being punished. Idis Balance does well. And this should be map point. Should being the optimal word.
Yeah, Nico hasn't got map control. He's only got tunnels. It's not like he was in B and could flank quickly. The bomb's lost on long. There's just no way back in. Idis Balance. 46 health after his 1 kill. This is kind of like... I feel like this is kind of 9 Panda system in a way as well. I mentioned his numbers just not being too great. Often he doesn't need to have high numbers as the AWPer. Like, some teams do have system AWPers which purely aren't as, like, hardcore carry as just a... I mean, obvious example is Munazi, obviously. But, yeah, I think Idis Balance is definitely a sort of a system AWPer on this team. There's spots out Nico. Actually does die. There is 30 seconds left here, and I'll get back to my point later, because Nico could just still aim duel from sight if he wants to. 26 seconds to pick it up and get to sight. That's not happening. They're going to have to win this round via elimination. Akor's now here too, and Glowing's only just decided to go into pit. Idis Balance, you need to run away. There you go. You've seen what? Run. Just run. They can't plant. Run, run, run. You should be absolutely fine here. They're going to chase him down. 8 seconds. He's got into suicide. That bomb is not making it to the site. Get in there, tuck yourself in, you're fine. 2, 1, all good. Molotov won't remove him until the not before the round's over anyway. Nico will get the kill and remove everyone, but TSM just leave that a little bit too long.
And 9 Pandas tried to give it to them a little bit too hard. I mean, there's 2 peaks there that didn't need to be taken, and they've taken both of them, and they've both gone wrong. It's just, it's undescribable, and you don't find yourself saying that very often as a commentator. But there's no logic to that. There's no decision-making tree that I can draw out to work out why they did that thing, but they did it, and it's left them in a really odd spot here as well. They're on map point. We all know they should be finishing this map off, but they've got NAF guns, so they're going to go a little aggressive with it. MP9s into the B tunnels. They do clear out a lot of map control with it, and Reese, once again, just doesn't seem to be able to lose a fight at the moment. Goes wandering up short. No util to assist. Gets a free pick on the first, manages to back out of the situation as well, which is quite remarkable. And he's bought his team a pretty damn solid 4-on-4. I mean, full B tons control is established. They'll start to make their rotations around towards A at the moment. Idis Balance is, well, he's turret AWPing behind the sandbags out at Goose. They're well set for this round, 9 Pandas, despite the initial kill going against them.
Yeah, just the complete clear of tunnels gives them a lot of information of what TSM are planning. They figured out what Idis Balance is, and that's dirty from Valder. It's only his 5th kill of the game, but it might be the most important to maybe keep TSM in this Dust2. Restop's going to swing for it. Of course, he gets one more, and there are 2 of his teammates, the last 2, to help out on elbow, and he even gets one more toward Nico. It's a great HE. It does damage to 2 players. And Acor will find that 1 kill, but they're both here. And again, 9 Pandas have the bomb.
I really like the adjustment from Result. It's been spotted out, though. Zyphon's got the info. That spray was nowhere near, but the headshot comes in regardless. And with 28 seconds left, I mean, we've been here before, haven't we? Dilladez, 1v2, limited time on the clock. The bomb a lot closer to sight this time, you have to say. So he's going to have to fight for it. But every second he takes off the clock by staying alive is another moment of scramble for TSM. They're working their way up to sight now. 2 AKs in hand, and Acor playing with fire very nearly gets burnt. An early dink down to 16, but the AK will come out trumps. 7th round on the board for TSM, and Eco to follow for 9 Pandas. I mean, this is building up a lovely bit of momentum, if nothing else.
I know it's all if, buts, and maybes, but it would have been crazy if they'd won that previous round as well. When the bomb was lost in long. 2 rounds in a row, the bomb gets lost, and at least they managed to win one of them. Not going to make the same mistake twice. 9 Pandas are doing exactly the same thing here. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you give Acor these kills, because it's the least amount of kill reward you can possibly give over. So, all good at the end of the day. There's his last alive. He'll get removed in 3, 2, and 1. He's gone. And it does deserve to be said that Acor is up to 21-8 in this game. Sure, a lot of saves, which, of course, with HLTV 2.1, will hurt his rating, but he's still having a good game overall.
He's definitely looked very solid. Final tactical timeout comes in, and this is the one where you're starting to say, look, I know we were 11-3 down, but we're in with a shout here. We're looking pretty damn solid. We're looking good enough. And 9 Pandas' CT side has been chaotic is the word that I'm going to use. It's been a little all over the place. They will have the buy into this one, but no AWP in the hands of Idis Balance. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. Again, he's looked a little better on the rifles today than he has with the big green in hand. Shalfie arguably showing him up with his favourite gun. But what's the call for TSM? 4 rounds to go to try and force this one to OT here on map 1. And really put the fear into 9 Pandas, because as we said, Nuke is a formidable battleground for TSM. It is a map they are very, very comfortable on. Not to take anything away from 9 Pandas, Nuke, but TSM just don't seem to know how to lose it at the minute.
Yeah, so that makes this Dust2 pretty integral. And this will be the buy to get it over the line. Because I am looking forward to Nuke. I think that'll be really interesting to see where both these teams sort of sit. Of course, as we've mentioned, both these 2 are in the same RMR group, so a minor litmus test, perhaps, to how they're going to be, how they're going to play, how they match up against each other. They've only played once before in Challenger League. That was back in July in the regular season. And TSM came out on top on that day. Very slightly different veto today, though. A Mirage this time. Shalfie looking to swing. So Resmoke comes in toward mid, and with that smoke in position, they'll know there's a very good opportunity or possibility they're up towards short. Idis Balance is just sort of jump spotting that in a way before he falls back to sight. And Shalfie has taken some damage on his little peak. So TSM are grouped up. Let's see if they can get it over the line and keep this map going.
I really like this from TSM. They've just slowly but surely burnt every bit of util 9 Pandas have got. This is the last flashbang. The last bastion for 9 Pandas. There it goes. Does blind up a couple. Result takes a few bites at it, but he gets the job done. And once again, he's going to be asked for the hard carry. Can't find the second this time, though. And that should be game. That should be round over. Get back. Save them. Can't really afford to be committing men to the retake anymore. That's a 9th round on the board for TSM, despite some of those low HP bars. Zyphon down to 6, Nico on 19. They'll look back and scratch their heads at that one, 9 Pandas, and think, what if maybe, just maybe, we had a little more to work with. But as it stands, 12-9. TSM really starting to build a little bit of a name for themselves here on Dust2. Starting to make a really solid account of their run. Aiko going to go maybe have a little bit of a hunt. Instead, he's going to put the AWP on the back of Zyphon. Let the... I don't know why you're bog-downing it this late in the round, to be perfectly frank with you, but he'll save it out towards top mid anyway, so nobody really minds.
All good. All good. Again, kind of point I was mentioning earlier, KDs are kind of all over the place in this game. It's a bit of a weird one. Not a single player other than Shalfie is positive on 9 Pandas, and they were winning this game pretty comfortably for a good moment. It's a bit closer now. Same can almost be said of TSM, except it's 2 players. So, 3 more to go for overtime, and what would be actually a pretty ridiculous comeback. 9 Pandas do have a little bit of weaponry, like we described. There's a chance this round's not live. I think it is. There we go. We've got knives out. We're not moving, so we have a quick round reset here. But 9 Pandas, this is the sort of round that they could easily just win from nowhere, right? I mean, TSM have done good work against the actual gun rounds, cleaned up the ecos comfortably, and very often it's this sort of round. It can be a bit awkward and can get out of hand.
Yeah, especially when you are one of those teams who's fighting for a bit of consistency. Don't take damage. That'll cause problems, Shalfie. Why are you like this?
It's fine. It wasn't for the enemy.
it's one of those situations where when you are a team who's struggling a little bit for consistency, you get through the hard rounds, you get through the slog of things, and it's not intentional and it's just human nature. You sort of just let off 5% coming into these sort of rounds. You're like, right, they've saved a handful of rifles, sure, but there's pistols flying about. We can get a few kills here, get through this one nice and quick. Don't really stress about it. And that's when things start to go wrong. That's when you can see someone like Result or Shalfie open up a gap, get a couple of kills, put the pressure back on, and before you know it, you're finding yourselves in unrecoverable positions with nothing to do, and it's all just going wrong. This round, yeah, not live. Everyone's just sort of wandering about. There's nothing more to be said than that. I think they've planted the bomb so that it doesn't go dead. That's my guess.
They're trying to extend the timer, I think.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Because if they went 13-9, then the game's over, and then it causes more problems than it solves, right? So they've extended the timer. We'll wait patiently. Whatever the problem is, it's a problem that will probably take a few minutes to resolve. So we're going to get a break from it. We'll get a little bit of an opportunity to sit back and digest what we're watching, which does seem to be the gradual but very apparent implosion of 9 Pandas. I don't really know what I'm watching at the moment.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, sometimes when you've got like a big lead, it can be, you know, you can get a bit lackadaisical, get a bit lazy. You think, okay, we're going to win eventually. Like, but in MR12, that luxury sometimes can catch you off guard more often than not, right? I mean, we've seen some of the games at the top level, you know, Na'Vi 10-2 behind, making all these comebacks happen over and over, and you know, Alexi saying, guys, we've won this game at like 7-11 behind or something, right? Because he just knows the mentality of the opponents. Like, it's those sort of mind games are always very interesting to get those listen-ins. But I think we fixed things. We do have the 2 buys that we expected, and it was actually pretty sharpish. So good to see. And let's see if this buy that we spoke about can get 9 Pandas over the line.
Straight towards long for TSM. It's a nice call. They got the utility. They should have the firepower advantage, and now they've got the man advantage as well. Heavy flash over the top. Nico gets a freebie onto I Disbalance. Admittedly, it's only a 5-7, but he goes down. And now it's a game of timings. Glowing wants this aggression, as does Dilladez. They want to try and take some control back. They want to put the pressure on TSM, but Syrah is ready for it, and this shadow angle is a tough old clear. Glowing goes down, and well, Dilladez doesn't really want to commit behind it either. Zyphon has faded a smoke, and this round is falling apart at the seam. Shalfie in no man's land just goes simple as that. And, well, Dilladez has been spotted. Shadow peek again. Just feed him to him, why don't you, boys? 10 on the board. And TSM, well, they're in with a real solid shout now. 9 Pandas need to save their blushes, and they need to do it now.
Yeah, because, as we know, if TSM win this round and no one saves for 9 Pandas... And don't forget, TSM have got a good bank to hunt, so there's a good chance maybe no one will save. They do find a way through this next round. actually in a position where they could not have much weaponry for round 24. So, might have to get it done here and now, but that's a good start. Siphon goes for his pick long, gets destroyed not just by util, but eventually by eye disbalance. Even though he was blind, takes the kill, and that is a really important start.
TSM immediately pivoting into a very proactive mid-control. Xiaofi, he's aware of the possibility, but it's a game of timings. He's got glowing on the other side of this angle. Mid-B smoke goes down. How long does he want to hang about? The flashbang's good, but not good enough. Acor gets a freebie, 4-on-4. And this mid-B split is looking more and more viable. Xiaofi and Dillades want to fight this. They know they've got to fight this if they're going to stand a chance. Nice kill. And Xiaofi just starts to steady things again, but he gets a little too keen. Acor finds it back, and 3-on-3. Dillades is now on an island. Got to cover two angles at once, and he's aware of it. The B tunnel's wide open for the taking. He's playing for the timing of Resol, but look at Acor. He is so damn ready for this wing, and there it is. Critical kill goes their way. Valde with bomb down, though. And this round is not done yet. Dillades playing the timing, doesn't land the shot. 1v2 for eye disbalance to try and contend with. The flash is not blinding him up yet, and the bomb in his sights.
As you can see, it's pretty crazy. This is awkward for TSM. Third round where they've lost the bomb, but this one should be, you'd think, a bit more recoverable. They've got a molly, they've got a nade. They could even use the molly and the nade to sort of create some smoke off the ground, but that's a great opening flick, and I think he's seen Syrah cross. 20 seconds, Syrah's going to take the decision to get that bomb down ASAP, and that would be the right decision, especially an AWP on the retake. Thankfully, there are AKs down in front of eye disbalance to give this one a go. It would be a 3K, it would be a 1v2. Syrah holding the angle, waiting for the peek through door, shoulder peek, but easily taken down by Syrah. Great round from him, and TSM, amazingly, look at their money right now. It shows you how successful this streak has been, within one of OT.
It's just getting scrappier and scrappier for 9 Pandas. We talked about that consistency dilemma, and we're starting to see it now. Little moments of magic from the individuals, but not managing to stitch it together end to end. Their CT side of Dust2 has been a mess. If they're going to get this one done in regulation, it's going to be done with very limited firepower. Scout in the hands of eye disbalance. Dillades drops down to the MP9. Of course, as you said, TSM, all the money in the world, so they have spent every penny of it, everything they could possibly want. Upgraded pistols, full rifles. No expense spared. What can they do with it? Can 9 Pandas find that moment of magic they've been so desperately looking for all half long, if we're being realistic?
Yeah. Just sort of ran with them how much money they had to buy 5 auto snipers and just spam mid doors, honestly.
There's the opening.
That much cash, like the old days. It's not really what we do these days, though, and that is such an opening kill. Once again, it's Acor. He's 26-9. His first had 1 death in, what, 5 rounds or something? But hang on. Oh, wrestled up with Valde. Oh, it should have been 2. Absolutely should have been 2. There's a Pandas in play, and Glowing's whiffed it. But Xiaofi's still here as well. It's not going to matter. Nico had crept out B, and Dillades will be caught in the side. Wild round to end it, but TSM have done it. And we have extra rounds on Dust2.
Gonna say it, we shouldn't have been here, and I don't think anyone thought we were gonna be here, but 9 Pandas CT side, I mean, that sums it up, really, doesn't it? Glowing, free kill, completely whiffs it, just an implosion from them, and it's only gonna get worse. They've got to start CT side, they've got to go for it. They have pulled the ripcord, though. We didn't actually see them do it in regulation. I don't think they ever had enough money to try it. Double AWP setup. Xiaofi will pick up those secondary duties. Eye disbalance again. Out towards long, hoping to catch that timing shot. This time not to be, as it's fast up towards short, straight into the stack. Xiaofi gets 1. Will be traded down. Xiphon on low HP, admittedly, but you can see TSM with a little bit of a read now. Spotting out 2 towards short, known for a fact there's 1 out long. That B bomb site's looking very appetizing, and almost, in fact, all of the T side are headed their way now through upper.
Yeah, Dillades went to help out in mid, but he doesn't realise that I just completely left it immediately. They're a lot faster here than he maybe realises. Needs the opening spray down, at least he gets it. But now we know, retaking B with double AWPs, this is borderline impossible. If Nico got caught there on the jump across, maybe you go for it. It's overtime, surely you go for it. But they're going to need to pick up a rifle first before they do. And Xiaofi's already headed in the wrong direction, I'm afraid. Let's see. I think the one thing that does aid B site retakes is at least going through tunnels. That's something that works. As Ivan has picked up the AWP, of course, as he got dinked in the early exchanges of this round. Almost gets caught. Probably should have got caught. Acorn now with the AK going for the spray, but peeks into Wrestle. Now we're talking 3v2. Zyphon stuck on car. There is a smoke and a kit on Wrestle still in this one. And in the end, they get all the kills. It's really nicely traded. Kit is recovered. They're on the defuse. No worries. That is a big round for 9 Pandas, and the classic rule, isn't it, Wolfie? First round of overtime, 9 Pandas have struggled for so long to get that round to win the game. Absolute classic, they win the round of OT first.
Of course they do. It's just always the way it is. Couple of nice ideas on the setups. Shalfie up towards short. It's a little scrappy again, you have to say. It's not a consistently repeatable formula for 9 Pandas, but they get the job done, and that's critical. The double AWP setup does work out. And enough money in the back pocket now that they should be buying double AWPs pretty much to the death of this half. No problems whatsoever. So able to keep their preferred setup. As this time, iDisbalance takes his over towards the B-bomb site. Shalfie rotates in to hold long. And TSM, well, they scratch their chins a little bit and wonder what this setup will have to give them. Shalfie is posted. He'll bait in for Result, who is the perfect player to put in this sort of a position. Should have an absolute gift here, and indeed he does. Shalfie gets one, Result doubles, and he wants more blood here. Swings perhaps a little too wide, but Shalfie's there to back his man up, as is the nade of Glowing. Why have one when you can have two?
It's so funny. How does this keep happening? It's obviously a mentality thing. Like, it's clearly, listen, we're grinding to get back to overtime. We finally got there, and it's the sigh of relief of getting there that seems to catch off so many teams on these sort of comeback trails. It's there must be some sort of mental science involved in that somewhere. But I think 9 Pandas won't be thinking about that. They'll just be happy that they've got this one kind of in the palm of their hands for 14. Sarah obviously will try and do some damage, but bomb is in this team's possession, and look at the angles being held. They're all over the map. iDisbalance probably will die if he turns around. But he won't. Okay, so Syrah has slipped the net here, but it is being jiggle peeked towards CT. Did he see it? No, they're still looking toward long, so they didn't see that actually.
Here's a freebie.
There's one more freebie. Little do you know he had another one top mid as well. Could have made it a 1 versus 2 instead. Obviously he would have known his position. Still gets a second. There's just no time. There's just no time. He'll get kills maybe, but they both 9 Pandas players realize they can just stick in a corner and or run away, and the round's done. Syrah just needs to stay alive now. He actually might even go down to the dares. Dying after time might matter somewhat. That's a nice shot, but yeah, it's just really some stat padding there. It's 9 Pandas on 14.
CT side starting to finally pay dividends for them, and well, seems the double AWP was the solution. Shalfie with a nice shot to open that one up, and they are just pivoting around these 2 AWPs a lot better than they were with 1. It feels like Shalfie's doing a fantastic job in that secondary duty. Arguably, I'm going to put it out there, better than iDisbalance on the primary. Are we seeing another AWPing in-game leader in the making?
I do think he's quite good on the secondary. We actually saw it on forwards a couple of times as well. In the past.
Oh, here we go. Change up. Fast mid B is called. Acor gets a freebie onto Shalfie. And it is again, I mean, we saw TSM in this position so many times, just trying to turtle inside of the B side, but iDisbalance and Dilladez doing a fantastic job of it. Glowing gets one on the backstab as well. Really nicely timed. Syrah does incredibly well to pivot, but his teammate is in absolute no man's land here. Zyphon has dropped down CT. He was hoping to get a backstab on Glowing. Buys a little bit of time, but 3 on 2. They have to double swing into Result, and they do, but the reaction is immediate from Dilladez. The trade is surely found, and it's a flawless CT half from 9 Pandas. Who saw that one coming? 15-12.
Aye. That round was actually played quite nicely by 9 Pandas in the end there. Like, Dilladez wastes so much time on site after getting this one kill. He just tucks and hides. Syrah does everything he possibly can do there by getting that kill through CT, smoking the doors, picking the bomb back up, realizing Zyphon is there to help out. Result's got a terrible angle, I would say, actually, in mid, because he has to, obviously, if you get swung on from CT, your legs can be seen through a little crack in the wall from CT into those mid doors position. And he obviously could just get re-swung on by Syrah too, so he does get caught, but he realized that even though he is there, he obviously will have his teammates peek off of his contact from the site and also peek together. So, multiple chances again for 9 Pandas.
3 opportunities to shut this one down. Not starting this one in the best of fashions. Result goes down to Zyphon out towards A long, trying to be a little cheeky with it, but Balance finds an immediate reaction, and off the back of Nico being spotted in mid, they are flying into a B split here. Acor spamming the smoke in vain, hoping to land a shot, and Valde knowing on the secondary AWP he's got to do it all. Gets one, needs a lightning fast reaction, shot onto Shalfie and lands it as well. TSM will live to fight another day as Dilladez is one and done. 2 more opportunities. The first of them falls by the wayside for 9 Pandas.
Right then. Can TSM do it again? Well, of
1
course,
down, 2 to go.
I've got that double up set up as well on CT side. Velda perhaps needs that. A bit of a rough game overall. It's one of the main things that I would criticise for this TSM team. I feel like Valda and Nico can be a bit of the minus point sometimes, and it's very often the Zyphon Acor show. That's why they picked up Syrah for something a little bit extra. It's worked in this game. It's those 3, really. They'll look brilliant, but it might all be in vain.
Need control established. Zyphon wants some information, but he's going to be forced off his angle with another well-placed Molotov. Acor takes a dink from Dilladez. We've seen him wander up short and get some damage done before. Quite able to finish his meal this time, however. Just settling into this 5v5 now. You can see TSM a little starved of information at the extremities, but Siren once again has got the better of Result out towards long. Second time that Result's tried to be a little bit cheeky around those smokes and has been found wanting, leaving his team in another 4v5 situation. 50 seconds on the clock. They'll start to group this one up again. This is such a power angle for Syrah. You can see Shalfie wants it. He wants to go back into that long control, but this shadow angle is a nightmare to clear out, and it's just a gift, a freebie for Syrah. 3 on 5. 9 Pandas with some big questions to answer here. Acor still alive on that ramp, is going to pick off a freebie, and this one feels like it's going the distance once more, unless Glowing and Balance make that just Balance can pull off the miracle. It's a nice shot for one, sure, but you're isolated on short. There's 20 seconds left. The bomb's on the site. You're gonna die. It's just a matter of when and how.
Yeah, great setup from TSM to bait Zyphon in as well. The nade from Acor, I've got to say, was absolutely spot on too. It didn't just throw one into short, right? Which could have gone too deep and not broken the smoke wide open enough, I guess you could say. He banks it off the wall first, so it lands a little bit more shallow. Breaks a bigger gap in that smoke, gets in one more kill. Probably would have won around anyway, but it's a nice little detail. And Syrah does more great work on long with the help of that shadow. Acor's hit 30, and it is round 30.
Just got to stop testing a shadow angle. It's just not working for you. Acor getting proactive in this one. Syrah on secondary duties, and this one's gone. 9 Pandas, I think, suffering a bit of head loss there. Acor gets a lucky angle timing. Syrah once again locks down A long, and well, this should be job done. Glowing is trying desperately to change the picture. Lovely headshot onto Acor to at least keep his team in it, but Valde's picked up secondary AWPing duties, or primary. I don't know who out of Syrah and Valde qualifies as a primary AWPer, but puts them in a fantastic position now. Balance trying to lurk his way out of mid. There is a couple of timings in play here. Valde is holding it, but how wide? Where are these CT players looking? Because that swing there from Zyphon is a little too far for me.
Yeah, you just have to be worried about a B. It was really awkward, but Zyphon does jiggle it a bit too far, and suddenly 3v3, and there were 2 on B, don't forget, for TSM. Syrah just has to try and not die here. That's actually his only job in this situation, because TSM going to need to retake. Thankfully, it's the A site retake and not a B site retake. There's that utility. But I realise Syrah is in CT, but here is the big round. They had a spare M4 dropped in spawn just in case they had to retake, but will it be worth it? Balance finds his one. Great nade from Nico, and that's the shot from Nico toward Glowing that could change things. Shelfie's burning, can't connect with the spray, and we're going even further.
How? I don't quite understand what just happened. 9 Pandas, after a very dominant T side in regulation, can't get a single round on the board. The CT side of TSM stands up to what was some fairly thorough questioning as well from 9 Pandas. They'll have to go again, T side once more. You got to imagine we're going to be seeing more of that double AWP because it is working wonders at the minute for both of these teams on the CT side, and then almost instantly is bought out again by TSM.
Oh, that round was so doable for 9 Pandas. I'll probably still be thinking about it a little bit. Just the fact that the nade came through at the exact time iDisbalance peak CT. And the damage done was enough for the nade to remove him. So near, but yet so far again. And I've got to give props to Nico. I mentioned he can be a little bit slow sometimes in the fragging department, but he's up to 20 and 16 now, and he's had a number of big impact kills.
Definitely feels like he's found his feet. Starting to enjoy his time here on Dust2. And plenty of time he's been given on it as well. 15-all, overtime 2. For 9 Pandas, a much more measured approach to this one. But again, Result trying to be cheeky long. And again, Result goes down long. It has been the story of OT. Faster pace to try and take some control towards short is the response, but immediately the counter flashes are there for the CT side. Immediately the presence is back. iDisbalance, well, he's wandering out. He should have gone down. Zyphon, wrong weapon for the job. A dink, but nothing more. The AWPer lives to fight another day on 10 HP, and Valde now under siege in this B bomb site, but he's not being cleared properly.
Oh, no.
And lucky shot from Glowing, you have to say. Valde waited half a second too long, and that's going to be it. 2v4 retake. iDisbalance his position known in towards mid. In OT, you can give these more of a stab, but this one's gone. And once again, Trav, the curse of the OTs continue. Can't get a T-side round in OT1. First round of OT2, job done.
Oh dear. Valda, once again, I say once again, it's only the second time of this game, but it does count. It does count as once again guilty of waiting too long to pull the trigger on B in that exact position as well. Like, I understand he wants to play more careful in those situations, but sometimes you just got to go for it. Like, he had the opportunity, waited for a cleaner shot at it. Got to go for those, though. Acor will once again save, proving why he only has 14 deaths in this game. But it is important to keep that if you want to commit to a double AWP setup for the rest of the CT half, of course. iDisbalance is a great round again, of course, cutting off those rotations, very clean. Just reached the point now, I think, in overtime where, especially on a map like Dust2, where it's not exactly the deepest tactically, where it's a little bit more mad.
Yeah, we've thrown the strap book out probably 4 or 5 rounds ago now, haven't we? We're into the just brawl it, see if you can get something. Timeout called. TSM. What's the adjustment is the question. Double AWP setup, I mean, you basically have to at this point. It's been the saving grace of both of these CT sides. So they'll go for it once more. Nico's got the long spawn. Neither of the AWPers are really anywhere near the action, but Valde leaning in that direction suggests to me we're going to try something heavy-handed over towards that A bomb site. 3 players headed that direction early. iDisbalance looking to fly down mid, and it's actually a counter boost from Acor that won't be spotted this time. iDisbalance has so consistently looked that way. This time he doesn't. Does take the leg though. Not that it matters. Dilladez gets the gift. Acor immediately there with the trade. HE does its job. And a 4v4, a much more frenetic start to this round than the previous, but it's all on as even at the moment.
Frustrating one for iDisbalance. Gets tagged and then fragged immediately with the HE. Dilladez. Zyphon realizes that Dilladez is closing him down, so retreats into CT, and Dilladez actually positions himself quite well there to not get caught by Zyphon. He's put smoke on the site as well to maybe do some fakery, but Acor has caught another kill. 34 now on the board. Another man advantage. They will know Zyphon is stuck in CT. The bomb is still long, and Syrah, he could have some important work to do.
Diladez is in such a tough position here, aware all the time that that short flank is a possibility, wants to get something done from inside of the site, but realistically it's all on his teammates. There's got to be a trade, and Result this time gets out long and gets the better of it. Diladez plays a lovely timing for 2, and the job is good and done. Surely not a flawless T-side now from 9 Pandas, surely not. Nico trying for all he's worth to make something happen, and they're giving him fights, they're giving him chances. 9 Pandas once again just over-peaking and taking it to the max. They really just desperately want to over-peak and lose some of these rounds, but they get the job done regardless.
They did use so much effort in throwing the bomb over the cross, and then they just start peeking Nico dry in CT for no reason. Look at this peek coming in here from site. Why? Just plant the bloody bomb. Good God. Anyway, they won the round. Who cares? It's now going to be consigned to the annals of history in Counter-Strike. It's a 1 round. And they could be about to sweep OT again. Who knows?
Right, here we go again. Nice nade blow of the smoke for Acor, but it's punished. iDisbalance just takes that and goes, yep, thank you, freebie. Nice shot from the AWPer. 19 and 21, have grown into this game nicely. It's worth mentioning, had a tough old start to it. Most of 9 Pandas have grown into this game nicely, to be fair. Nico wants the peak again. Wants some information. Does he expect Shalfie? So close to this angle already. Huge amount of damage done, but no kill yet. Nico's going to have to back away with the molly and will go down 3 on 5. At the very least, the majority of TSM's firepower is on this A-bomb site, but it's going to have to go nuclear. Zyphon, a full bullet spray, still inside of the site, somehow still kicking. Smokes off his molly, tries to buy space, but Result has played this one beautifully. And it's another flawless half, this time on the T side for 9 Pandas, who've got 3 opportunities to lock it down going CT and OT2.
Many opportunities in regulation, 3 opportunities on T side, 3 opportunities now on CT. Right. Let's see if they can get this one done. Wrestle, again, like, I've got to give them some props because that was a decently layered round, considering we're deep in overtime there. Wrestle coming out late long, realizing he's probably got 2 free kills on the board. Just good positioning, good awareness of where the last few players are. Zyphon once again, truly trying his best in a tough situation, but not much what you can do when you're getting flanked from behind. Now, iDisbalance goes for it again. Once again, gets cleared by Acor. Actually, we'll be interested to check the stats after the game. That particular matchup, who won it more often than not. I really do think Acor has had his number, but it might not be Acor on the winning side.
5v4 for TSM, make that 3 though, and they are looking solid here. Result in a lot of trouble, does very well again to fall away with 1. He wants more as well, he's going to flash himself back in. The spray, inch perfect for 3 out of nothing. Diladez backs him up, but that sells him down the river. Syrah able to find the flank timing. And Shalfie, well, he's been seen absolutely nowhere so far. He's been posted out long with nothing to do. AWP in his hands, 1v2 to contend with a B site retake. He is going to be very swiftly into the tunnels here. That might be his only saving grace. The problem with the play that he's opted for is that there's no guns. He can't swap off this AWP. It's going to be do or die on the big green. And he scopes up in the tunnels. Acor scoped on his exact position, ready and waiting. As Shalfie creeps slowly but surely into the jaws of death. Acor remains trained on this. Just holding, waiting, but he whiffs the first. Now the second lands, the leg through. Shalfie backs away from it. Shalfie decides he's not having any more of it. Baits it out, actually. That's a lovely little techie play with the smoke. Baits Syrah in, gets a kill off that. Acor will fly around and hope to maybe catch Shalfie in towards spawn, but it's not to be. First of 3 for TSM. They've been here before. They fought back before. Can they do it once more?
Yeah, Shalfie just... The fact he didn't have a kit as well definitely called an end to that one. I know people will say, oh, why don't you have a kit in overtime, for goodness sake? Well, you know, if they want to buy a double AWP setup every single overtime round, then saving the extra $400 actually does mean something. One kit, of course, if it's on the ground, can be picked up, so it's not the end of the world. This happened in that situation. Once he got tagged and there was no kit, it was done. So, Shelfie's looking for something else. This time he's scoping up lower tunnel. That could be a little bit of a change up. Oh my word. Sit down, Shelfie. See you next round if there is one. That is ridiculous from Nico. And once again, it sets up TSM. Great early round.
That one felt a bit choreographed from Shelfie, you have to say, with the smoke out. Information was there. It's a lovely shot from Nico, but it is one that he can just prep for as long as he wants. He knows the angle, he knows the timings. Sets himself up, knocks him down beautifully. And for 9 Pandas, another 4v5 to try and contend with on this CT side. It's TSM, once again, they've been so good at this. Once they get the advantage, just fall back, settle into the round, let 9 Pandas blow the util, blow the aggression, and then work your way back into it late. 55 seconds left on the clock. They'll start to think about where they want to finish this round, start to group a couple of players in towards long. Think about maybe putting some pressure on iDisbalance. There's flashes to get them out here. This AWP's going to need a miracle. Valde shoulders it, gives the kill away. And iDisbalance goes back for more. Flashbang in will surely fade him away. So he looks to reset towards car.
This one is definitely feeling a bit more on now. 30 seconds. TSM are very far away from the site. They've had some troubles with the clock in this game a couple of times. It's down to Wrestle. He does have help, and the trades do come through. Both sides of it, though. Nico, 7 HP, 3 kills in the round. iDisbalance missed a big one, but he makes up for it. 12 seconds, so he needs the bomb. He's dropped into towards CT. That makes piling this one so much more difficult. With 8 seconds on the clock, he's going to get the kill, but 5, 4, it's so close. No, he's not got it. He's not got it. That is game, said, and done. 9 Pandas have had so many opportunities to get it over the line. And finally, they will. Fair play to TSM for keeping it in touch for so long. But in the end, 9 Pandas always felt like they had them somewhat, at least at finger's length, in that game.
Yeah, I am a little bit at a loss for words there, because quite throw in all of the factors that we've conceived and spoken about. I think it's going to be mighty this one. It feels like everything hinges on it. That third map is ugly. We don't want to end up at that decider if we're 9 Pandas, to be very honest, because like you said, even if the recent numbers are bad, it used to know sometimes the heart is hard. I know it's one of those. I want to get it done in 2 here, 9 Pandas, but that's not the way to start it.
Yeah, unusually you see that work out in a pistol round, but it does for the opening, and Glowing only gets his one toward ramp. It's a great strat from TSM. They pincer all around the map and then go down toward B together. Valde has not got this bomb planted yet, and Sura has missed that timing actually on Wrestle. That's really unlucky, to be honest. Literally a split second, he would have seen the leg. But Zyphon was always going to be there to catch the next trade, and Stiladez in the right position, but surely with too many players to find.
Yeah, should be job done here. Kit's in the wrong place as well. Nothing he can really do. He's looking for an angle. Valde spots him out. At this point, everyone knows where to look. Everyone knows where those crosshairs should be trained. Valde drops down into the site itself. Nico's even got util if they want to stall him out a little while longer, but they'll just keep 3 crosshairs on him. Tapping away. And yeah, the job is done. He backs away. And that's another one where it feels like TSM, nice shot to finish it, have really prepped their homework. And it raises an interesting point, right? It was a theory that one of my mates raised when we were playing CS was, if you just prepped one thing and it was pistol rounds and you prepped it really solidly, you could win yourselves 6 rounds a game quite comfortably, right? Pistol, convert, anti-eco. Job done. So it really feels like TSM have almost taken that to heart, because we saw it CT pistol on B, on Dust2. They were ready for the hit. They had 3 players there. They were ready and waiting. This one, arguably even more so, because they've nade stacked a man on T-side pistol on Nuke.
I know, right? That's the thing I was most surprised about with that one, actually. And as you say, I mean, if your opponent's force like this, it does give you 6 rounds a game. So, if you can get past it, of course. So, yeah, I think it's a very good point. His force has got some teeth to it, though, as we see already. Sura getting dinked. And, obviously, Stiladez was saving the Kevlar, means he can buy the FAMAS straight up. We've got an MP9 and 2 deagles in play, but ramp is open. So we're down. And we've got the bomb planted very shortly. So that's the biggest issue, because you've gone for this force, but you're nowhere near the retake. So you probably think, save it and try it again next round.
I think that has to be the call here, realistically. No kits. There's just no way you're getting into this. The problem is, if you're TSM now, you're looking at the MAC-10s on Nico and Zyphon and thinking, yeah, go on, lads, let's go take a few of these rifles away, these bits and pieces, right? And I wouldn't be surprised to see them start to hunt this one more thoroughly. Syrah, he's starting to clear his way outside. Dillade's knife in hand. Oh, he's not seen the shoulder there. Won't matter, because Syrah just wide swings on Nidus Balance and gets the job done. Traded 1 for 1, but here comes the hunt. Up through Secret. Again, those two MAC-10s, there's really, you can't imagine them not going for a little bit of a poke here, but they are actually going to be disciplined with it. All 4 hidden, staying alive, trying to buy some util. Buy that extra little bit of cash, as we see the tank turn there by Zyphon to finish it off.
Plus that.
And for 9 Pandas, this is where it gets a little weird. You force into the second, you lose a man. What do you do with this one? I mean, you've got 2 rifles and a handful of pistols. What's the idea that's going to win you the miracle round? How do you try and stitch it together?
As Jeremy Clarkson would say, they lose an man, but only an man. And they do have that Galil and then 9 still. So, they know they're buying next one anyway. Might be up for something a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more wacky. But look at Valda, he's already out. And he takes a trade on Wrestle. I think his rotation's going to be very quick, but so are the headshots. Acor will find Shalfie. At least does get that one back on Acor. They know he's now in toward that lobby position. Unfortunately, there's no AK upgrade. Only another Galil on the ground in front of him, I do believe. And I just bounce looking onto the site. It's heard by Syrah. Once again doing work, but that D needed to get one, and it's not going to happen. It's now all down to the aforementioned Dillades and a 1v2. They know where he is. He's now used nearly all of those bullets in this clip of the Galil. He's going to have to hit a ridiculous transfer with 7 left. May as well go for it. May as well do as much damage as possible. He's got the timing on 1, to be fair. Ooh. Syrah, though, just will hide in time. Instant dink. Pistols out. And even if he got the kill, the bomb would have exploded anyway. Real nice try from Dillades. But TSM have a 3-0 start.
That's such a weird round as well, because both teams know full well they're full buying in the next. So both are kind of just throwing caution to the wind a little bit and just having a go. It's not a bad effort at all, as you said, from Dillades on that Galil. A lot of damage found, but it's almost inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, because it arguably makes the buy better here. If he'd left a couple of MAC-10s alive, you might have seen TSM think, oh yeah, we'll keep a couple of MAC-10s. He killed everything. So instead, it's 4 AKs and an AWP for his team to try and face off against. Have to wait and see how it pans out, but it is looking like they want to be a little bit swifter in the initial control here. Down the vent goes Syrah, full control gained, and there's really nobody home at the moment. Nidus Balance gets 1 onto Nico, but the lower sight, well, it's wide open for the taking. Glowing has tried to make the adjustment down and makes a beautiful adjustment on the spray to match. Syrah is felled. And with only 1 more, Valde left inside of this lower site. He's got to try and connect up with his teammates, bringing the bomb in through ramp room. Ice Balance is ready for it, though. And Glowing's ready for the swing as well. This round, well, it should be good and done. Nidus Balance playing with death a little bit there. Glowing trying to run the support lines and does a beautiful job of doing so. All 5 up for the 9 Pandas. That's the CT round they wanted.
Exactly, at this point of the game as well, to get a bit of a handle hold on the CT economy immediately. Important and impressive. And of course, those previous rounds for TSM weren't clean at all. So despite their 3-0 lead, it's not like they won with many players left alive, so they can only really afford a hero gun on Zyphon, maybe?
It's such a weird one. Again, if it like 3-round string should get you a bye after 1 loss, but the economy being what it is, it leaves you in weird situations if you lose multiple players. And this perhaps is where I was taking the mick of Dillades a little bit and being like, oh, leave him at 10 alive. This is where it pays off. This is where all that damage comes back, is if you can get a clean start in the round after. It leaves your opposition really with no choice. 5 Glocks, 1 smoke, 1 flashbang. Smoke is out. just going to dribble over Mini. Not really gaining much of anything. I was just trying to keep a crosshair busy. iDisbalance can't quite land the initial shot. Will fall back down the ramp. Calls for the support lines to be ran. Glowing flashes himself off of them. And ramp is conceded. They're going to drop down swiftly here. iDisbalance is going to have a job on his hands. He's well set in towards control. Can't land the first or the second. Result bailing him out just a little bit. They'll try and get this plant down. iDisbalance switches to the pistol and does get overrun for his trouble. But Dilladez is there very swiftly to make sure it's not too bad an affair. A couple of dodgy shots there from iDisbalance, but realistically, it's against the pistols. They're jumping all over your screen. You can almost forgive him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's exactly what I criticised him for earlier, just the lack of consistency against those sort of shots. But at the end of the day, you're right. Consistency is important, but in that sort of round, it's not the end of the world. They collected the AWP back up immediately, and Dilladez was there to bail him out. So, that's the second in a row. TSM now have their purchase back up. Got Acorn AWP, a glass cannon AWP on T-side Nuke, which could be a bit squishy.
Ooh.
And now iDisbalance is a bit more squishy as well.
Sticks with the angle. Doesn't want to give it up. Both teams feels like just feeling each other out at the moment. Trying to work out where, if any, there will be aggression. TSM trying to work out how they can get control of outside and cling onto it. It's always a more difficult question in this iteration of the game. Now you've got that smoke pop mechanic. No longer the simple drop 3 smokes and we'll walk across and pray we don't get hit by spam, because they can clear that spam and look for your Shalfie doing exactly that. Top of the smoke. Acor goes down. And advantage found to start things off. Can't quite tap at the head of the second, and that leaves Dilladez open. Syrah finds himself the trade, and now Shalfie in trouble. Out towards credit. He's got to try and bail out to blue, and he does so beautifully. Needs support lines here. Needs teammates with him, and Nico charging through. Gets a double out of nothing. Result desperately trying to trade it back. Finds a double of his own. And the carnage, long may it continue. Zyphon catches iDisbalance in transition. And Result, he's got a 1v2 to sketch together. He knows where both of these players are. Knows the bomb is outside, but Zyphon just manages to dip in and catch the timing. And now Result has got a lot of angles to clear and not a lot of time to do it. Should have heard Zyphon drop, but does he know about Syrah enough to try and clear this one down? Syrah is posted. Yeah. Syrah is waiting, and Syrah has a 4th for TSM.
That's a well thought out round, to be fair. A little bit mad, like we've seen already in this best of 3 thus far, but that was good positioning. Here's those sprays through the smoke that we saw, almost recovered things, but iDisbalance felt like he had to help out quick, and because of that, just rotates up into his demise. And TSM will get their 4th straight away. 4-2. Now it looks like they're going to go for something a bit pacier, because they had money to buy up an extra AK on Syrah. He doesn't. He's going for a Mac 10, and this is why. iDisbalance goes aggressive for a pick, and at the wrong time, because they're going toward A very, very pacily, and that is going to ward them away from even going for the retake. Zyphon finds Shalfie as well. Syrah upgrades from the Mac 10 to the AWP pretty much immediately after that second kill. And that's a great pace change.
Yeah, caught 9 Pandas completely off guard, if we're being honest. iDisbalance just out on an island. Wanted to have some impact with the AWP early, instead finds himself barrel stuffed by a Mac 10. And then a couple of unfortunate timings from a couple of players mean the round falls apart. Glowing desperate to try and hold on to this rifle, but TSM are going to hunt him. Got a ton of money to do so, but Syrah makes it look very, very easy. Gets the job done. 5th on the board for TSM, and I think we're starting to see why we're talking about them forgetting how to lose on Nuke here. That was a lovely read, a lovely pace change, and it's really put 9 Pandas on the back foot on the CT side.
Honestly, there's no reason why they don't try and do the same again. That is exactly what they're doing. But this time, oh goodness, Dilladez, that Molotov top part didn't spread, so they didn't check it. So he stays in that position and he gets 2 headshots with the 5-7. That range, 1 tap headshot. And sure, that play might have worked if that Molotov hit again, but it didn't. And now they're in a tough spot.
I did wonder when you said no reason not to try it again. The one reason I could think of is you're walking into a closely held angle with pistols, and that always feels a little bit scary when you're a T-side player. That close range fight up against a 5-7, it's do or die. You have got to be so precise with it, and Xiphon is. Xiaofi and Glowing, they look for the trade. They look to take their man down. They know they've got him pinned in, but they can't quite land their shots, and that leaves a sparsely occupied upper site, if we're being honest. iDisbalance and Result dropped in anticipation of it being a B-site hit off the back of those 2 upper kills, but having 2 deaths go against them, suddenly TSM feel a hell of a lot more confident clearing out this upper site, which is exactly what they get to do. Diladez trying to play the timing, but Xiphon is there. Acor as well, both crosshairs trained on that position. And for Result and iDisbalance now, what was such a promising beginning has just fallen apart. Not gonna happen. iDisbalance gets locked out of it, and Result, well, he might want to consider exits or even just holding on to that M4A1. It's going to be 6 on the board for TSM. And such a promising beginning, a 3v5, and TSM still find a way to convert.
TSM we know and love on Nuke is looking like it is returned again. Xiphon will get a good trade as well, considering he was pretty low. We'll go down to the bomb, but done his job again. 7-3 is Xiphon's KD, and 6-2 is the scoreline. Xiphon has kind of been the player that we spoke about to be absolutely nuts for TSM lately, which is why we kind of picked out Syrah as a man who sort of joined the party on those stats. And if you dig a little bit deeper on Xiphon's stats, and you look at this year, it's definitely a glow up. His impact rating's pretty good. Even if you just circle it down to Nuke, his rating's improved compared to this year alone. It's all been pretty decent for this TSM team.
Tough position for 9 Pandas to be in. They're 6-2 down, so they feel they have to buy, but it's leaving them slim on utility, which is such an important aspect of Nuke. Always feel like you're just a bit hamstrung when you're a nade or 2 down in these sort of situations. Xiaofi opts to pop the smoke, very nearly spots ahead. Can't quite find it though. Outside control continuing to be there for the T side, albeit temperamental. Diladez and Glowing find a killer piece. Suddenly, this outside control starts to collapse. You can see Xiphon trying to work his way back around through Hut, a player top of Silo. One stuck towards red. Acor ringing off shots on that AWP, but nothing quite connecting for him. And this is a better position for 9 Pandas. They need to try and hold on to it, though. Valde tapping away gets one, Glowing in for the trade. But again, Acor is there to back his man up. And it's a 2-on-3 that isn't impossible now for the T side. Xiphon's shot out of Squeak is going to be big, but it's all on the timing of Result. At the moment, he's checking for the wander out. Hut, this is all on this fight, and Result gets the better of it. Acor with 25 seconds left, now stuck outside, limited money. Should and will consider the save.
Yeah, it's a well played round by 9 Pandas to hit back. It's the round they needed to. Otherwise, this half would have got away from them. TSM have built up some money now, so they'll be able to buy next round comfortably with this Acor save. Xiaofi, Glowing, 2 in the round. Xiaofi a little bit lagging behind, but that's not the end of the world as the IGL. Three of his other teammates are putting in some decent numbers. It's important from Glowing in that previous round for sure.
Interesting point you raised that, actually, because generally speaking, with Xiaofi being a fragging in-game leader, if he's having a bad game, that is generally a sign his team are going to lose a map.
Yeah.
If he sort of gets off to one of these like 1-5, 1-6 starts, generally means they're done for. So it'll be interesting to see sort of if 9 Pandas can address that here on a map that they're very comfortable on, if they can find a way to get it over the line in spite of that situation. This round would be a good opportunity to do so. Full buy for TSM, but nothing left in the bank. If it goes south, a half to follow. Opportunity opportunity for 9 Pandas to maybe just start to stabilize this CT side a little bit if they can get it over the line.
Looks like an execute is being planned. Will that Molotov force Dillades off of top hut this time? Hope so. But no. Once again, he has the angle. Finally, it spreads. Last time it didn't. He had the 5-7. But Shelfie's been taken down, and Syrah's not just taken that first, he's taken the second on Result as well. That's big. That's what we want to see from TSM's new addition. And that's what he's done for Mouse NXT for so many maps as well. In the scene as a young professional, I fancy Jiggle picked out one. It's a nice pick on Nico, but unfortunately, he swings into the position Acor would have seen him, and he takes the immediate trade. 2v4. TSM are all over the map. Dillades has missed his timing, but he does recover it. Unfortunately, he's already being flanked from heaven, and now Glowing. How stuck is he? We're about to find out. He is towards that vent position. Acor. He's not looking at it right now, but Bomb is being planted safe behind the silos, and now they've spotted him out. Gets one, but it's only one. TSM have confirmed the lead on the half.
Panda's just a little slow to react to the outside pick going against them there. It felt like the mini player just wasn't quite aware of the possibility. Just here, Result gets caught slightly off the angle, and at that point, you're always fighting a losing battle. Couple of nice shots to finish the job, but realistically it was always going to be TSM's round. They get 7, and this T side is absolutely flying. That was the opportunity, as I said. Break the economy if you're 9 Pandas, really try and build towards that 6-6 half. Think maybe you could get this done on the T side. Now it's 1 M4, 2 MP9s, 2 5-7s, and a desperate outside play from Glowing that does pan out. I disbalance with a lovely assisting flashbang. The problem is, off the back of it, it's asked towards ramp, and Dillades and Shelfie have got so much work to do with so little firepower, but they're making it happen. Boosted up. It's a tough angle to clear. Shelfie does brilliantly for 2, but Acor blows the smoke to get 1 back, and we're not done yet.
That's pretty crazy. I bet the last thing Shelfie thought was going to happen there when he was trying to pick up that AK was that the smoke was just going to dissipate in front of him with that HE. It's actually a really nice play from Acor, but getting back into the round is very difficult, and that quick scope is not going to work. Glowing takes that one. Now Zyphon's making a hell of a lot of noise, and there's already Wrestle top hut that he doesn't check for. So 4 for 9 Pandas, 5 would be lovely, and very possible with TSM's money.
Winning it the hard way at the moment, 9 Pandas. They don't want to make the job easy for themselves. MP9s and 5-7s is what gets them a 4th on the board. And just a little bit of willingness to be proactive, I think. You could see it just slightly sent TSM for a wobbly. I mean, walking through a smoke up against MP9s, 5-7s wouldn't be doing that if they were in a 5v5 situation. You can say that for sure. They wanted to accelerate. Couldn't quite make it happen. Second timeout called by TSM. 8-4 half for them would be absolutely fantastic, and you have to say if we got there you'd be thinking, yeah, this is going 3 maps, we need Inferno to decide it. 5-7, 9 Pandas win the second pistol, and suddenly it's looking much closer. Good round for them as well to try and finish the job. I mean, Tech 9s, as you said, a very limited buy for TSM. Should be 9 Pandas round to lose, but I'm saying should be because so many times we've seen these oddities go against them.
Should, could, would. Classic. We'll see if that comes into play here. Tech 9s and the Deagle. With something speedy. Syrah might have missed the vent, I'm afraid, but I think actually he would prefer that if he did, because Wrestle was already down there and ready and waiting for the drop into his grasp. Unfortunately, it's the grasp of death.
This is where these kind of rounds get really ugly as well. The utility's gone. They had an idea to try and start the round, to try and get Syrah down that vent. Didn't happen. Didn't work out. Okay. Now they just got to brawl it. Okay, Nico gets 1. Rifle. Idisbalance able to trade it down, but that rifle will be recoverable again. Valde's got an AK in his hands now. You can see the response almost immediately. 2 players from 9 Pandas drop down lower. Result and Shelfie try and occupy that part of the world. They know that the AWP provider's balance was in towards hell, so realistically, Dillades may well be alone on this site. Idisbalance has got a lot of ground to hold on to, but Dillades' timing is inch perfect. 5-7, a mini recovery. 9 Pandas still with it all to play for as we head to the halftime.
Once again, a competitive half between TSM and 9 Pandas, but TSM will be thinking it shouldn't be, because 9 Pandas have got back to this 7-5 at half, and are very much in the conversation to take this one 2-0.
Feels like at 7-5 the pistol holds an inordinate amount of weight. This really can swing the entirety of this second half. 9 Pandas will want it to go their way, will want to try and put the pressure on early. Immediately, fast-paced control of the ramp room is taken, established. They want to flood down into this lower site, and Idis Balance with a lovely headshot opens things up. Sira's dinked up. Result does go down in and amongst the chaos, but the lower site, well, it is almost entirely taken. Make it entirely glowing, lightning quick. Idis Balance in with another, capitalizing on Shalfi's dink, and at this point, Nico and Acor, how do you even begin to stitch this together? It's a lovely shot from Nico for one, but he's lost his teammate. And 9 Pandas, they have come into this one with electrifying pace and a point to prove, and what a way to do it.
Yeah, brilliantly done. You know, Valda's even in a good position towards single there with the dualies, but, you know, again, I feel like Valda is overly static as a player, full stop, in this entire game. Dust2, we saw it on more than one occasion. There, I feel like he, rather than just holding the angle on a pistol, you should be jiggling more. I don't know. Even if you're not jiggling, just ADing at least, to maybe make yourself a little bit harder to hit. And yeah, he gets once again just insta-cleared, and he's had a really rough game as Valda. I think that his individual level has struggled in the entirety of the series. Anyway, he wasn't the linchpin in that round, to be fair. It's not like him dying completely ended hopes. They probably would have taken the round either way. So, they've got the pistol in their favour. TSM are going for a full eco. They're looking to pounce at some point to look for as much damage as possible, but 9 Pandas will take this round. It will be 7-all very soon.
This is why that second half pistol is just so clutch. Glowing going to start farming some kills towards outside as we talk about this, but it's bought 9 Pandas level pegging. I mean, you've got to remember at one point they were 7-2 down and really felt like they were done and we were going to 3 maps no matter what happened. A late resurgence in the first half, pistol conversion, and suddenly all honours are even. And once again, it feels like anybody's game to take. Glowing with a nice little stat farm towards the end of that one as well to boost his numbers. And what's the call for TSM here? First time they've had rifles in hand. Where's the adjustment, and how do you try and put 9 Pandas out of their stride? Because at the moment they're on a 5-round streak and they are looking hot.
If they can win the opening gun round of the second half, that would be huge. So there's 14-5, Glowing 17-8. These are the performances we were kind of talking about before the entire game went live. That Dilladair so often puts forward, and Glowing want to see that from him again. After that ridiculous form that we saw from him in some of those qualifying matches back at the Copenhagen Major RMR. He can occasionally pop up with games like this. And at important times as well.
Puts all that experience to good use when it's needed most. A couple of players prodding towards outside this time round for 9 Pandas. Just trying to set Glowing up realistically. He's going to go out on a bit of an island to try and catch some timings. Working his way into the garage. Rest of the team starting to work the ramp room pressure. Bomb is a little isolated at the moment on Shalfi, and Glowing has gone down to Sira through Secret. So this starts to become a bit of a one-dimensional hit now for the T side. They're going to need some sharp shooting here. Zyphon and Sira inside of this lower side. There's the lineup, 1-for-1. Sira next up in control. Just chooses to duck away from the angle, preserve the man advantage a while longer. Will mean he concedes this bomb plant down. Now he goes looking. Trying to spot out if there's an angle to play with. Nothing given, nothing gained. 3-on-3 and just 2 flashbangs left for the T side. That feels critical in this retake. No kits for the CT side either, so they've got to get a bit of a shift on with this one. The bomb already well ticked down, third of the way gone. As they look to group up, working their way down Secret, clearing these angles. Molotov goes into Idis Balance. He's going to have to bail, reset. But again, there's no pressure into him yet. The bomb already halfway ticked. I think TSM has started to realise the situation, and the spray down so nearly buys an out for 9 Pandas, and does it. There's no time on the clock. That lack of a kit has come back to haunt them. 2 players alive for TSM, but they still can't get the round.
That's huge for 9 Pandas. They may have lost everyone, but it's more important the damage that's been done to TSM. They're going to be on a half buy alongside these 2 M4s in this following round. I mean, technically, they could drop 2 A1Ss and have 4 to use. We'll see if that's a decision they make. But yeah, that was just a lack of a kit. And also just the fact they left it a really long time to make their way through single, open single, and get closer to the site when they had a man advantage really caught them off. TSM are going for the safe option. They're not dropping the 2 A1Ss. They're going for the half buy around it like I mentioned. So, arguably, Pandas should be expected to reach 9-7.
Should. Definitely felt like in that previous round, TSM were just a little cautious about Secret and someone being lurking there. They took a lot of time shifting down, left them vulnerable. This one starts off the right way for 9 Pandas, glowing through the smoke, able to open things up, takes out Nico. That's one of the rifles gone as well towards outside. Maybe recoverable for Valde. He's having a think about it. With the man advantage up, this should be a matter of efficient trading and just clearing your corners. T side of 9 Pandas. They've taken the ramp room control. Acor trying for a cheeky spam. Nothing coming through from it. And at this point, you can see the CT side just starting to feel a little constricted. They've actually dropped 3 down lower in an attempt to almost preempt what's coming from 9 Pandas. And it looks like the right call at the minute. Plenty of presence here. Let's see if they can make something happen. Zyphon first up in control, baiting for Valde and Syrah, arguably trying to get those 2 M4s in a position to have impact.
Oh, Valde once again is holding a tight angle and gets destroyed on it. There's too many of those static moments from Valde in this game. It's like he's never played CS2 and doesn't know Pika's advantage exists. It's really weird. It's actually crazy. A lovely shot towards single as well. To be fair, Zyphon will be removed too. And it's just the Deagle of Acor. Looking for the gun, trying to grab it, but 9 Pandas know where it is. Trying to stop it from being a possibility, and that's exactly what Result does. Fair play. Well played. 5 players alive for 9 Pandas. That's big after the previous round as well, just to bolster that cash ever further. Bolstering it as they have. I mean, that TSM might feel like they have to win this round.
Definitely feels like it's getting towards that position now. Said they've forgotten how to lose. Could be in for a stark reminder if they don't find something special rather soon. Still can't afford too much in the way of a buy. Syrah drops down just a flashbang to make it happen. Acor lacking head armor and a defuse kit. Of course, not so much of an issue when you're up against the AKs, but when you're up against a fast-paced play, it can be a little tricky. Dilladez gets 1 and the adjustment for 2. Should have been done. Should have been the man advantage for TSM, and instead it's 3-on-3 inside the site. Pistols doing what they can. Glowing trades it down. And somehow Dilladez has just cracked this one open for 9 Pandas. We spoke about this before. Just the moments of magic from individuals who have no business finding multi-kills. For Acor and Syrah, it has to be a save. No money to back this one up any longer. That should have been a round for TSM. An early 5-on-4, Molotovs to stop the push out of Hut. Felt like job done.
If they had a 3rd player alive with Syrah on the big flank, and maybe a possible delay of a plant, Syrah's position would have been very valuable. As it is now, all you can do is save T-Roof, which he might not even be able to do. We'll see. Ivan's just going to face it. They are just going to face it. They might all die. To be fair, at the end, it's a nice pick from Minus Balance to get that kill, but only just survives to the bomb blast too. That was a lot more damage these days than you'd think, even that far away. Acor is the only one to remain up as well. Of course, he can drop one. Syrah can buy. Nico can buy. I would be surprised if they don't invest properly here at 7-10 down.
Down. Maybe 7-2 up at one point. Some comeback. 9 Pandas taking a leaf out of TSM's book on this one, I think, and we are starting to get towards that stage where it's getting a little nervy. TSM, with the saved bits and pieces, will be able to form a halfway decent force buy. Not a complete force by any means, Siphon and Valde, they've invested into MP9s and Kevlar, but they're not necessarily going to buy the utility behind it, not going to spend too much on the kits. They want to be able to give the next round a go with 3,400 loss bonus and have full rifles to work with. They're giving themselves a little bit of bite to match their bark this time.
I don't mind it. We've seen this choice made by a number of top teams and quite a lot of teams at this level. Gives them the opportunity in the next round and in this. I think it's relatively smart. Obviously, you'll feel like an idiot if you get an MP9 dink and it doesn't complete the kill when an M4 would have, but that can just be the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. That's a good start. A call toward ramp will remove Russell. And even though 9 Pandas have presence down through Secret, they are a man down.
Yeah, this is the dilemma now for them. The bomb in that position makes it ugly. I disbalance though, just catches Acor getting a little too keen on the angle, and now that bomb has a route round, an opportunity to match up. And I think TSM are almost waving the white flag. They're thinking about dropping some of those MP9s down now, but the plan really was to try and force them into the hut crunch, and where 3 MP9s waiting would have been an absolute slaughterhouse. Instead, MP9s trying to work their way in late. We'll go 1 for 1 on the AK, and at that point, probably worth saving it. Syrah and Xiphon both with rifles in hand. Send Valde in, he'll grab the AWP. That's a really nice save, in fact, for TSM. It will be 11 on the board for 9 Pandas, but it makes the next buy pretty much complete. Everything they could wish for, and a golden opportunity to try and get themselves back into this series.
You say it's a nice save, and I will agree with you on that one, but the problem is TSM was 7-3 up, by the way.
Yeah.
They just haven't found a way through. Or a way to hold 9 Pandas at bay, at least. From 7-3 to 7-11, and not the good kind of 7-11 either.
It's that kill that does it as well. Yeah. Acor just gets a little too proactive. If he just sits, holds his angle, he can keep the bomb from making it to the lower site and then almost force their hand into that hut stack. You hate to point the finger, but it really does feel like that's where it all went wrong. Can he make up for it here? 11 and 14 at the moment. Tough time on Nuke. CT Orpa needs to have impact. Flirting with the idea of a peek towards Squeaky. Opts to double back, sets himself up on blue, and that allows Result to just fly the nest a little bit. Works his way down into lower, takes a dink on the chin, has to fight it as well. Nice placed HE from Syrah. Forces the fight on his terms, gets his team the man up. What can they do with it from here? Again, 9 Pandas wanting to work this outside control. Lower site really has been a favourite of theirs, and they're going to get an opportunity again as 3 players work their way into Secret. Shalfie just left to try and play the timings, and there's 2 players watching this fading smoke. That's never going to work.
We do have a disconnection, just an FYI for viewers at home, which is why there are 2 Shalfies on the HUD at the moment. It is a 5v3, I believe, for TSM. So once the 9 Pandas player rejoins, we'll obviously see that accurately. And
interesting choice here. Just conceding the lower site completely.
Yeah.
5 upper.
This is worrying, isn't it?
It just, I mean, you can kind of make the case for it if you say, right, okay, we concede the lower site, then we're 5v3 on the retake. We need all our 5 players alive to make this retake a reality. Let's just stick all together. But realistically, in that kind of 3v5 situation, you'd expect a team to go like a 3-2 split, drop a couple players down into lower and try and contest this bomb early, because now you leave yourselves on a little bit of a clock. Xiphon does well, trades the initial kill from Shalfie, and that leaves 2. Illidez and Idisbalance, they've been good so far this series, and Idisbalance has picked off 1 more on entry. Position now known, makes it awkward for the Orpa, or does it? A second and all, Illidez, if he was a little cleaner there, it could have got dangerous. The Orpa did all he could to give his rifle an opportunity, but this time Illidez not quite able to connect the dots. And it will be TSM finally on the board on the CT side of Nuke.
And finally being the word for sure. I was definitely concerned, even when they were up 5 versus 3, that they just allowed 9 Pandas to get a plant. Retaking on any situation like that can be awkward. If Shalfie was maybe a little bit cleaner on that first spray, things could have changed. He got a lot of intel in that position as well once he got that opening kill. But couldn't get away. Quick tack being used at the right time to use it as well, for sure, considering that's finally TSM on the board. Make sure they don't bring up any momentum immediately. Now business end. Very close to taking this one at 2-0. Quick reminder, of course, there are other games going around the grounds right now. And Amiga are map up, but 6-2 down to 3D Max in the upper bracket. And Sora and Sangal in the other upper bracket matchup are in a third map decider. Sangal are 5-0 up in that third map decider right now. And in the other lower bracket game between Sashi and Paravision, Sashi are also a map up.
Can 9 Pandas do it cleanly is the question. Gets out of here in 2. As you said, nice use of the timeout just to arrest any momentum, and they'll want to get this one as well to really put that nail in the coffin. Syrah wants to change the picture though, and aggressive towards outside is unexpected. Shalfie goes down. Glowing very nearly wanders into the crosshairs as well. He wants to take this fight on his terms, but it's going to be Valde on top. And now iDisbalance is up on the chopping block. Does very well to just shift off the angle and give himself half a second. Syrah is there to trade it back and keep his team alive in the 3-on-2. But arguably, it's more than 9 Pandas really should have had here. A couple of players left alive. It felt like they were done in the outside control, and they bought themselves just an inch of breathing room. Zyphon on the lower side is going to be problematic.
Yeah, that's a really good position, especially at this sort of timing left in the round as well. Like, clearing that out when you've got no util, it's going to have to be a banger of a shot. It's your only option. Zyphon has got this one in the palm of his hands. Will he drop it? Or will he grip it? They are going to commit to B. And Zyphon's doing the right thing by jiggling back and forth. Just needs to make sure he gets his timing right. And there's the information. Now just don't peek too far. Try and waste as much time as possible. And he does exactly that. He gets his one. And you know what? He even gets a second as well. That was clean. And as you saw, there was even a rotating Nico in position at the right time. Even if he died. Now that's good. That's clean. And 9 Pandas are going to have to eco. So 1 round the gap will probably be likely. And who knows? Maybe OT could be a possibility again.
Wouldn't say no to another one. This is textbook from Zyphon. Really nicely worked. Plays the angle.
Good readjustment too.
Could have made the argument for him to sit back and wait for the teammates there, but why not? You're 3-on-1. You got teammates rotating in fast. Take the fight. Feeling confident.
Yeah.
This round's a bit of a dud. Acor, oh, okay, was hoping for a bit of a timing on top mini, but instead, Glowing wanders through a smoke and bangs his head off. Deagle paying for itself already. MP9 recoverable isn't a bad nab either for this T side. iDisbalance wants it, but there's the counter util to make sure he doesn't get it. Although Glowing continuing to have huge amounts of impact on that Deagle. Finally put down. I mean, this is a result, to be quite frank, for this T side no matter what. A couple of kills off of that Deagle is not a bad nab whatsoever. Well, imagine he goes down here, goes for the burst fire, very nearly gets the job done, but Syrah finds his mark, and just 1 round the difference. It's all to play for here. TSM coming back into it.
Now then. There were some nice shots hit by the Deagle of Glowing. Some damage at least, but it doesn't really matter at this point of the game now. It's this round that matters. TSM deal with it cleanly. And we'll deal with this one. Careful watching for outside aggression in the corner of that smoke. Good Molotov will force Acor back away. Maybe realises Result that Lop could be aggressively on the angle. They're going to be actually pushing in toward Hut though, but you know what? They even get a flash in play there from Syrah to catch iDisbalance on the ledge. That's a brilliant opening and very proactive, especially at 10-11 down, but nice. Syrah's gone hunting and he's caught Glowing in secret. This is some really nice sort of positioning around the map from TSM, especially at 11-10.
Yeah, TSM are feeling it now. 9 Pandas have let them get back into this CT side and they're not going to let this one go. Nine Pandas almost playing for that exact situation as well, waiting for aggression to come their way, waiting for a fight, and, well, TSM gave it to them, took it, and won it. Result, Dilladez, and Shalfie left to try and pick up the pieces. Looks like an upper site pop maybe is the only way they're going to make that a reality. Lacking utility to really try too much else. Reap out a secret, not well timed. Valde gets one. Result there for the trade at least, but there's just too many bodies on the server right now for the T side. You can see Siraj swinging in. Result does well to grab a second, but these are constellation kills. 3v1, 20 seconds on the clock. It's a done deal. It's going to be 11 on the board for TSM, and that third map of Inferno creeps ever closer.
What a bounce back this would be as well. Don't forget I was talking about the fact it was 7-3 turned into 11-7 to 9 Pandas, and since then TSM have bounced back. Remember I mentioned that 9 Pandas timeout that I said could possibly stall momentum? It hasn't. This has been pretty solid from TSM and some great proactivity on the CT side. To go for that flash in toward Heart, to get the opening toward I Disbalance, to get the this one here from Syrah. Exactly the replay describes what I wanted to talk about. There's definitely something here now. With 9 Pandas on a low investment. This is exactly what they wanted, TSM, to be in this position.
Ball is firmly in their court to try and take this one the distance now. Valde ready, lined up. Here comes the fight, caught with nade in hand. Nico will trade for one. Drops down smartly inside of the site, plays the angles beautifully for a triple. Make it a quad, why not? Beautiful stuff from Nico. We spoke about the impact of letting him warm up into the series, and, well, there it is for you, plain as day. This will be 12 for TSM. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, how's he not
kill for
seen
money?
him?
Oh, okay. Great position. Fair enough. He gets his one. He gets his one. All good. But Nico gets his ace. So huge. That's huge. And that could have definitely got out of hand once he lost his mini player, but just held down the position brilliantly. Here's Valde once again falling foul of something kind of ridiculous. But Nico, thankfully, it's that first one. The fact that sort of first one is so clean when you get swarmed from both sides of the site, it's gives him so much time to reset and reset well.
Really smart, just intelligent counter-strike by Nico. Question is, will it be for nothing? Will overtime come regardless? Or can TSM force map 3 here and now? Got everything they could possibly want to try and make it happen. 9 Pandas have had to make some sacrifices. No ult for I Disbalance, who has been impactful on it. Limited util. Galil for Resol, who's been the hero, and he's trying to be it again, regardless of the lesser firepower. Valde found through a smoke. First time in a while 9 Pandas have had an opening man advantage to play with as well, but almost immediately it's grabbed back. Acor onto Dilladez, posted close on the AWP.
Nice shot. He had a bit of a slower game than Dust2, that's for sure, Acor, but it's a critical one, and he's obviously retaken up that angle, and doing that is not something Glowing expected. Resort might have to do this all by himself, creeping outdoors. Zyphon's too accurate for him, and even though he's burnt into the open, the bomb is now lost on the A site. Acor gets one more, and this one is going to a third. Shalfie is more stuck than a stuck thing. He can't even get out. He's 15 HP, and he is... Wait. Hold. Hold. He is... I'm still holding, by the way. He's dead. We're going to a third map decider between TSM and 9 Pandas to find who will be eliminated in this battle for Pro League. I think, honestly, when we looked at this series before it began, Wolfie, we said it kind of had a third written all over it. And it took a bit of a roundabout fashion, but we're there.
Yeah, I think it's taken about as long as you ever could have expected to get to 3. I mean, double OT on map 1, we definitely didn't have on the cards. This one being...
They've won 1 out of 3. They haven't really played enough on it to really give us a gauge of how they look on it, right? So it is rare you see like a new team try sort of a 7-map pool, because it can be so hard to get all the resources to get every single map in a decent understanding for you. But they're trying it, and I've got to give them respect for that. It might give them a little bit of extra edge going to the RMR. Who knows? Will it give them the edge in this game? We have got Inferno almost ready and raring to go. 9 Pandas, TSM's been an entertaining series. Will we go all 24 or more? Again, we're about to find out.
And that one's sitting stew for just a moment. 9 Pandas looking to start CT side. Make of that what you will in the current situation. Definitely feels a tough place to be. For TSM, an opportunity to just continue that momentum coming off the back of what was a fairly fantastic comeback to finish it off. Although it looks relatively slim when you consider, they were 7-3 up, then they go to 7-11 down, and then they bring it back to 13-11. It's only 6 rounds to string together right at the death. But it's the context of those 6 rounds, the way in which they did it, and the proactivity that they put into place, and the confidence they played with. I think that was the real standout for me, was that there was such confidence, even when it was 11-all, even when it was all cards on the table, everyone's all in for bets. We're still willing to take risks and try things. Let's see if that continues and if that momentum flowing through them is present on a map that has fallen out of favour with them recently and perhaps leaves some questions to be answered. Working their way into the apartments early. It's a 3-man play towards A initially for the 9 Pandas, and a 4th fast on the rotate, but not going to be fast enough to stop this hit. Swarming in, a shot from above. Sierra and Zyphon with a kill apiece. The site is taken. Pandas does get 1 back, and that may well tempt them into giving this one a go, but as Acor trades out onto Glowing, it's going to be very tough to get this one started.
That was simple, but it works. A little bit of util and a pop out of apps. Much more popular, I feel like the apps pop is these days on Inferno, when of course there's no railing to have to hop over on that ledge. Sort of aids your exit a lot nicer. And that is a very nice start for TSM. Unfortunately, Wrestle may have been in a good position to try and stop it. Once you're getting actually jumped upon, hitting the headshot is doubly difficult. Yeah. And of course, they're all at different angles, different heights. Shalfie's trying to save his Kevlar. Maybe thinking about the possibility of that FAMAS force buy that we saw on the previous map from them. He will be allowed to do that. But will they go for the force buy is the question. On Inferno, close ranges with the MP9s and the 5.7s. I would get it. I would also understand if they didn't. It looks like it's going to be the former.
It's a 50-50, isn't it? We'll give a little bit of credit to TSM there. Their movement out of the apartments was stellar. The first guy strafed out beautifully. Ended up about halfway up short by the time he hit the ground. And it really does draw the crosshairs when you can hit those lovely strafes and make the movement as difficult to track as possible. This one, though, getting back into the action as it stands. A force buy from 9 Pandas. A little bit of a sketchy one. Idispan's already taking a ton of damage on that scout as well. Realistically, you want him to be tagging up 2, maybe 3 players, giving those pistols something to work off. Instead, a crunch into this A site with Dilates, the only man actually inside of the site, and able to really say anything about it. Does incredibly well to even get one, I'll say. But almost instantaneously, the trade is there. Zyphon and Valde just playing the smokes with MP9s, plowing bullets into them as you can when you've got a box full. Zero finds one more. And yeah, you know, we weighed up this force by Trav. We said, I can see why it happened. I can see why you perhaps wouldn't go for it. This is the textbook case for why you wouldn't.
Yeah, they probably will be 3-0 behind in a few minutes' time. Wrestle's looking for a couple of exits, but the right thing to do, especially as you are saving next one anyway, but he can't even find Zyphon. He leaps up onto the ledge and takes 3 in total with the SMG and now the picked up MP9. And he keeps his full utility intact as well. And that's going to add even more money to the bank if they win this next round cleanly, which of course they should. Great start. Nine Pandas will have some work to do. And, I mentioned TSM's recent results, not looking necessarily too amazing on Inferno. If we look at Nine Pandas, it's another map that we spoke about. There's very sort of middle ground between them. They have actually won their last 3, but 2 of them are against teams you definitely expect them to beat. K27, which I believe are just a Russian advanced team, pretty much. Ecstatic in CCT, and a long drawn-out game against Zero Tenacity, 22-19. I think that's actually the third map decider. Let me check that quickly. That was in Challenger League yesterday, I believe. It was the third map decider, and it was 22-19. So that was a wild one for sure. But they got it over the line. That's impressive against a team like Z10.
Well, that was a round that happened. Pistols tried to swarm on B, didn't get too much done. We won't even talk about it. Here's where it gets interesting again. Rifles are out, and it's time to see what Nine Pandas can bring to the table here on Inferno. The initial signs have looked promising for TSM. They've looked in good form, good fettle. Nico will take the MAC-10. Nobody sacrificing head armor on Nine Pandas, aware of the possibility of that Galil and MAC-10 doing more damage than they're worth, so happy to take the sacrifice of a little bit of util and actually sacrifice a defuse kit as well, which is always a brave call on Inferno to pick up the head armor. And the response is this banana aggression. We saw this on the pistol as well. Obviously ended up being an apps pop there and kind of derailed the plans a little bit, and well, it looks like the call is much identical here. Fast-paced, popping or looking to pop out the apps. They get caught on a little bit of a ledge, and Dilladez, with a slightly speculative spam, spots a body and finishes it. Gets a lot of damage onto Nico as well. So what's plan B look like for TSM here? Want to try and get out towards long. Valze takes a dink on the chin and doubles it out of nowhere. Archers and Library, 2 lightning fast headshots. I'd love to see that again. iDisbalance just about able to rein him in at the 3rd time of asking, but Valde has bought his team a lifeline they have no business having here. 3-on-3, and they will double back. They want this B-bomb site. Glowing is here, but only just about. He's panicking his rotation back now. He's got 1 Molotov and a HE to maybe stall this out, but they're going to swarm into the site before he can do so. MAC-10 and Nico leading the charge, as expected. Spots out, dealt with. Molotov to deny the default plant spot as well. This is nice from Glowing. Working the issue well. Gets a little too keen, though, and Zyphon will take him down. Buys his teammates an after plant. 2v2. No util. Couple of flashes, all they got to work with. Dilladez deals with Zyphon on the wide swing, and now it's all Acorn. No AWP for him. He gets 1, but the trade is instant. And a little bit of sketchiness, a little bit of magic from Valde. So nearly pays off for TSM, but not quite able to stick the landing.
Hugely important, sure, obviously, and we all know it comes with a caveat of having 1 player alive, so the next round buy might not be too amazing, as you can see right now, 3600, 3650, etc. But they managed to take it somehow, which is the all-important factor. TSM do quite well to get back into that round as well. Valda's just had his best moment of the BO3, without a shadow of a doubt. Getting that 2-man spray down toward long. The second headshot must have been so fast on the transfer. As you say, they kind of had to figure out an idea of how to get back into the round, and that was certainly did that. But that quick banana flank from both was the biggest sort of insurance policy for Nine Pandas. Following round, of course, we do have to invest into MP9s to prioritize util, and already we're running on one of those down banana. So this is actually a really important round now.
Such a tough one for Nine Pandas as well. Win the previous, still end up with 2 MP9s in this. The early bout of util has left them fairly empty-handed as well. Have got the stack call right for now. As TSM look to start grouping things up. 4 players for the CT side, lie and wait inside of this A-bomb site. It really is a sort of a unique aspect of Inferno. You've got to gamble with these. Got to try and play the information well, and for the moment, Nine Pandas are doing just that. Molotov from iDisbalance tries to stall a few seconds longer. Des and Shafi set themselves up in the apartments, and now the util starts to rain out. Zyphon wants to get out of boiler. Dilladez does well in the apartments with that MP9 to back him up, gets the man advantage early. And now bracket control is there for the T side, but what do they want to do with it? Zyphon has to double back, has to reconsider the apartments as a possibility. Xiaofi just lies in wait. 30 seconds on the clock, and they're actually going to bail out of this now. They can smell a rat. They think, yes, this A site is stacked. We will double back. We'll try and hit B again. That went very nearly perfectly for us last time.
Yeah. They do have a CT smoke available, which of course they didn't have last time. So cross over. Allowed that shot to come through from Church, but glowing misses the MP9 sprander. They think through the coffin position, and Acor's taking that one as well. Bomb will go down with 4 seconds to spare, and the round has turned on its head. And as you say, I think we know what the answer will be now. That is a swift turnaround with basically 1 health being the difference.
God, I hate Inferno. Safe scored. It's such a tough thing to watch. As you said, Acor 1 HP gets a beautiful second headshot to do it. But Sierra also down on 16. You know, 4v3, any other map in the pool, with the confirmed damage you know about, which is definitely an MP9 dink in there and probably a couple tags from an M4, you'd probably see the CT giving it half a go. You'd probably see them having a little bit of a poke, seeing if they can get an early entry. If they can't, great, we'll go away and save. But if they do, if they find that initial pick, maybe we start to scale up and get into this. But Inferno, B site, CT economy, what it is, it's just written in the stars. As soon as you get into those afterplant situations, you've got to back away. For the long-term health of your CT economy, you can't afford to be throwing rifles at these kind of problems. So it's a 4th on the board for TSM. As sketchy as it is, it gets over the line. And despite 9Panda's best efforts and some really solid reads from Xiaofi in the early and the mid-round, they can't quite stitch it together. It's another half buy around some saved rifles.
Triple nades and toward the corner of top banana. Obviously want to try and fight for this when they're a little bit lesser weaponry. And Xiaofi, wow, that's incredible. He gets 2 and they're stuck in this incendiary. There might be a reswing from Wrestle, and there absolutely will be. That is just the banana brawl losing it. It's just basically as simple as that. Not much really else to describe about it. Zyphon is 1 versus 3. He needs a clean entry. Spots the arm. He'll go for it. Big wide swing. It's not as clean as he would have wanted, but thankfully for 9Panda's case, that means that Dilladez is quick on that flank, and winning that banana fight wins them the round.
Inferno in a nutshell. That just brawl down banana. Whoever wins the brawl wins the round. Lots of util, lots of nades, lots of mollies. Nobody can really see what's going on, and it just sort of happens in front of you. But 9Pandas will be grateful for the opportunity. A lifeline of a round in their financial situation as well. Able to grab some rifles off the floor. 4 players now with rifles in hand. Glowing, the only one who has to take the sacrifice and stick around on that MP9 a while longer. 9Pandas can take this one as well. They've gone a long way to breaking the economy of TSM. Would have an opportunity to start stabilizing that CT side. Oh, Dilladez playing with fire. Nico very swift into the angle and very nearly rewarded for it.
Nine Pandas have got quite a lot of control right now, but it's these sort of rounds that can get out of hand very quickly. The banana positioning is pretty good, but there is a flash. Okay, Glowing does well. He gets 1.5. And Xiaofi's going to be there for support. They might not be expecting him to reface, and he gets 1 more from doing that. And obviously, they might not expect Pandas to already be here. That's why he swings on a random timing. It works. It looks crazy, but you can understand why he does it in that specific scenario. Valda will get the plant down, but he's 1 versus 2. This is his first game this best of 3 where he started well, frags-wise. Can he make a clutch happen for his team? Loses space into the smoke, but maybe not quick enough. He goes for a re-peek, and Wrestle will take him down. Big round for 9Pandas.
Huge one. Will pretty much break the economy of TSM. Still saving 2 rifles forward. Resort still got a full bank of nades. There we go. I'll get there at some point behind him. So a really nice situation for them to be in. And yeah, if you look down the money of TSM, could maybe skim a buyout in this one, but it'd be very, very sketchy to try and do so. Another nice brawl down banana is all it really comes out to at the end of the day. As you said, Glowing does very well. Xiaofi's there to back his man up. I Disbalance does well in a 1-for-1. And just playing the fundamentals solidly. A 9Pandas on the CT side. Nothing really to write home about, but a solid enough round, and a round that gets them to this situation where we are going to see the force buy from TSM around those few players who could get absolutely everything. Rifles on 3, a Mac 10 for Acorn. Nico, the one who has to take a really significant sacrifice, he drops down to a Tech 9. Perhaps expected to see something a little faster from the initial Mac 10 and Tech, but instead they've been seconded by the AKs, who will try and work their way into an early pick with that extra firepower. Util towards the bracket, and 9Pandas just starting to explore their opportunities down banana as bracket is indeed taken.
Oh, important from Result. Something Valda making his way through that long smoke, and he even swings for a second. That is impressive. Ice Balance stops Nico from making his way out as well. And sure, they're taking a lot of damage, but that's a lovely banana put on timing from Shalfie, and that will leave it all down to Acor. He gets blindsided by Dilladez as well. Now that is clean for 9Pandas. Doesn't matter if you're down to low HP after the round. If you survive with all 5 alive, it makes the difference. And they'll probably stick with this until they need to rebuy, because there's no reason for Ice Balancers to drop a rifle now and buy up the AWP. It's working as it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, a couple of really nice timings, clean shots, just doing the simple things right. Again, for 9Pandas, it's not anything world-breaking. It's not anything massively complex, but simple things executed well will yield positive results. And at 4-all, they've finally broken the back of this TSM economy. Get them down onto the half-buy. Pistols, this is where they need to be a little cautious, right? We've seen some complacency creeping in these kind of half-buy rounds. Admittedly, more from TSM than from 9Pandas themselves, but still, it's worth remembering. Want to get through this round cleanly. Ideally, all 5 alive again. That'll set them up right to the death of this first half. Just make sure you don't concede that bomb plant, because so much financial reward for the T side from getting that one going. TSM, they'll play this as passively as they fancy. Just taking some second mid control to start things off, trying to get maybe those Deagles into an angle to peak, but realistically, trying to bleed the util. Trying to make this expensive for the CT side, force them to buy up as much as possible again into the next round, and in doing so, keep their economy on a shoestring, which it so often is for the CTs on the map like Inferno. Nice shot from Valde to start things off.
That's more of the Valda aim that I've come to know over the years. And he'll get another toward Resort. This is falling apart. Dilladez is in such a difficult situation now. Oh, apartments. Yes, he gets run down. Shalfie, he needs 2, and it might be very difficult from here. Now, kind of are still in the open, and he does manage to catch Valda, trying to tap down Acor. It's so close, and Acor is forced to run across the angle because, of course, he needs a weapon, and maybe he's out of bullets in that scenario. I'm not so sure. But in the meantime of all that, Syrah has managed to escape and has got the bomb down on B, but he needs an instant 1-dig, and now he's been spotted out. They know he's gone toward Banana. Syrah will try and fake that's the case, and we go back for a pick, but he's got 2 healthy players coming his way. Tries again, but really what can you do? You have to just keep taking gambles in this situation. Smoked him off now, flashing that smoke. They have both got kits, of course, as well. Spam is really all they can hope for. Glowing will hold the defuse. Almost finds Shalfin. You know what he does? In the end, it's actually Glowing who kills him, technically. But it doesn't matter. The round is still 9Pandas. Great try, TSM.
That's not a bad shout whatsoever. And, I mean, the end result, even if it's not a round win, is pretty fantastic for them, right? 4 kills. Bomb plant over on the B bomb site. They would have desperately wanted to get that round over the line, but realistically it would have had to have been, as you said, Syrah insta pick. When he had Glowing a little bit isolated, it had to connect. He was the only option available. Irrespective though, still a fantastic round. As you said, nice try. Valde looking hot on the Deagle. It's bought them actually a little less of a promising situation than I thought. I thought it might break the CT economy a little more, put the 9Pandas boys on the back foot. Hasn't really done that, so at the end of the day, it does just sort of become one of those, yeah, not a bad effort, but confidence builder. We'll call it that. It's the early util as exchanged down Banana.
That's one way of calling it, yeah. Of course, 9Pandas will be delighted to have won a couple of those previous rounds with all their players up, so they could afford one of those messy ones. And they afford another, though. TSM have their full purchase this time around. The Lillers might choose to play the same angle he played the previous round and got domed by Valda, but it is a bit more of a... It's still a very nice angle to play from. There's so many cheeky positions you can play around that van now. On toward the underback area too. Shalfie gets his one, goes aggressive on a timing, and he finds Zyphon. That's a big scalp. And he'll fall back with that advantage as well for his team.
Yeah, just opted to play in front of, I think it was actually his own smoke. And just catches the T side a little off guard. It's still going to be this A site commit though, and a relatively sparsely occupied bomb site. Just two here. Someone needs to hit a shot, and it's Valde again who opens it up. Both kills inside the site go to the in-game leader, and that's round. Simple as that. 4v3 after plant A site, limited util, never going to happen. And that's how easy it can be when your individuals are firing off on a map like Inferno. Valde gets a double entry. Single-handedly secures the round. Really is showing up when it matters most here. Had a, as you said, fairly quiet first two maps, but now he's really starting to fly. 5-all. Gonna say it, for a T-side Inferno, perhaps a little lackluster at the moment, but an opportunity to grab a few more at the death. Shalfie just looking for exits here, just looking to keep it expensive and maybe do some economic damage for these last couple opportunities his team have got. Will go down with the fight. And TSM have 5.
Yeah, fair play. Eiko actually leaps into that one and even gets the kill rather than just hoping Eco trades it. High disc balance will save the AWP. Gives them probably what they want in this next round. But yeah, TSM, they're in the game. I do agree with you. I think 5 on T, I think on average these days, you actually probably get 7-5, 8-4 on T side very, very often on Inferno.
Yeah.
I think 7-5, I would maybe argue without looking at the numbers, would be the average. So if they can get that, then it's definitely not that bad. But again, we're no closer to figuring out who takes the game. It's been close the whole way through. 9 Pandas were closest at that 11-7 lead on the map 2. Once they finally took the OT on Dust2. But now we're locked at 1 map each and 5 rounds apiece.
Just how you want it. Close as it can be. Apartments control to be taken by TSM. Again, just a measured scale up into this one. Nothing particularly fast-paced. We saw the couple of attempts at fast pace over towards B go pretty catastrophically wrong. So we're back to the slower defaults, just trying to work the problem. Bleed out that CT utility. You can see the smoke still up towards bottom, banana, boiler, and apartments respectively. So as those fade away, there's very limited stall util left. Idis Balance goes for it. Swings wide on a peak. Had the opportunity. Can't quite connect it. Which may well prove to be critical here. Shalfie's been heard burning behind that Molotov. And they've really not got any more smokes, 9 Pandas, to try and hold on to that banana control any longer. So now it becomes a game of gambles. Glowing will make the call. Rotates over towards the A-bomb site. Leaves Shalfie solo. And it looks like it's the perfect decision at the perfect moment. How much longer can they hold on to this A site for? How much time can they buy for Glowing and Shalfie to rotate in? Dilladez plays up close, diving out. Nice shot from Dilladez. Manages to double up, drops down, sprays for the third and connects it. Now just has to stay alive and he knows it. Buying precious seconds for the rotators to work their way in. Glowing gets one and Valde, he wanted to be the man on the backstab, but now there's no time for that. He's got to fly through the smoke. And 9 Pandas will put him down. That is expertly played by Dilladez. Lovely kills, but perhaps even more critically, buying so much time for his teammates to get back into the site.
Great case for the M4A4 there. He had 10 bullets left and he gets one more kill. That was really expertly played. And that final spray was pretty clean, as you can see there. As we described, Valda had no choice but to fly through that long smoke. If he gets the kill, I don't think he can even get to the site in time, so it is what it is. 9 Pandas will at least confirm a tie on the half, and they might get more because the low purchase for TSM in this following round, they're going for something speedy. We've got 2 Mac 10s. It will work out for the opening, at least toward long, to trade out Wrestle. But Glowing has dealt with Syrah trying to make his way through Arch. Now the last 3 players are set up towards short and Apps. It might have to be Dilladez again. Velda may land on one, but Dilladez deals with the next 2. It's 9 Pandas once again creeping closer to the finish line. We'll see if they can complete the series after the break.
Nine Pandas scrapping for all they are worth on the CT side of Inferno, and it has paid dividends. 7-5 up as we head to the halftime. The decisive map. Who will get a shot at Pro League and who will resign themselves to ECL for a season again? CT side for TSM, it's a tough place to be. It's even tougher when you're down 2 rounds. This pistol could have a huge impact, and they are going to charge up Banana here, Nine Pandas. They've got Valde. He's stuck. No man's land, nothing to do. Goes down 3. There is one on the backstab for Xiphon, and maybe that offers them a route in. Fast flank is called.
Yeah, fast flank with 3 as well. Now that is pacey from TSM. There will be a safe bomb plant coming in from Glowing though. And Shalfie's already got up to high ground. Would you expect him there already? Well, Xiphon didn't, but he reacts to an incredible kill with the recovered Glock. Glocks do feel easier sometimes, and now Glowing needs to prove why. But he's getting swarmed from both sides. That was very aggressive from TSM, and it pays off.
I don't understand how Xiphon got 2 there. Absolutely criminal from him. Had no business finding that kind of impact.
He's unreal, dude.
Just absolutely nuts. And it buys TSM a lifeline, realistically. You know, we talk about the 7-5 and how the pistol round can swing pretty much an entire map off the back of it. And at this point, it felt like it was done. 4v5, 4v4, afterplant situation. B-bomb site Inferno. They commit to it. And Xiphon, well, he almost single-handedly buys them away back in. Of course, with the bomb going down, it is still going to be the force from Nine Pandas. Dilladez manages to get the Galil. It's pistols and utility for everyone else, though. So perhaps something a little more intricate from the T side here.
Yeah, it's a lot of util. A lot of util. So, let's see what they've got planned on a really important round. If they lose this, they're going to be on a full eco, don't forget. Valda. Not entirely aware of what's coming up next, and now maybe he'll realise it as counter util comes flying his way. Come toward top Banana. Valda very blind. Are they aware of 2 players stuck here? I think they are. And now they're not there anymore. Result has taken both of them. And the force buy is working out really well. Acor though will find Dilladez in the meantime, and they need to cross onto the site safely and cleanly. I think they will. Shelfie will get the bomb down. It is now a 4v3. They've got Banana covered off, and they are backing away. I think they realise the game's too close to throw these guns away and just give them to the T side for free. So a save has to be called, and that is very aggressive again from 9Pandas, and it works.
Sometimes you've just got to go for it, and that's exactly what they do, just running players down with the Tech 9. It's not pretty, it's brutal, but it gets the job done, and yeah, it's Inferno again. 3v4 situation, you know there's pistols about, but realistically that CT economy will not sustain itself. You've got to try and hold on to your rifles. Got to try and buy yourself as much opportunity with maximum firepower as you can. What does this one look like? What do they try and bring to the table? A second tactical timeout feels very astute. It's a solid buy for 9Pandas. Plenty of firepower kept over from the previous, topped up where needed. Could just about make the argument for a force on TSM, but it's going to have to be proactive and it's going to have to be forward thinking, and that is, by the looks of things, the direction they're headed. 2 MP9s brought up.
The Force by Wars will continue until, of course, one of these two win 2 in a row. One thing I will mention as well, just thinking back to the pistol, I really appreciate Zyphon realising when he was retaking Top Banana that switching to the Glock would absolutely be more beneficial to him. Because, like, every single... I mean, I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. The USP is technically classed as the better of the default pistols. And, you know, it's very satisfying to get those clicks. But a Glock, in that sort of situation, is just better. And it's a fact.
Certainly paid off for him, but can his teammates make the most of it is the question. Hot banana control conceded early. Counter is an aggressive stance in towards the apartments, at least initially. Nico and Akel, though, decide they've had enough. Decide to back out of the situation, and it looks like it is just going to be the commit to the B bomb site, no matter what here from 9Pandas. Through they head. And who will get the better of the smoke spam? Sierra gets one early. The flashbang over the top is inch perfect. Zyphon grabs another, but Shalfie swings in to find a double. And a fast-paced rotation will buy them a 3-on-3 after plant. Shalfie is literally on a single point of health here, so a bit of MP9 work from Valde could go a long, long way. But he's found by Dilladez. The wallbang connects. That will be the after plant. And again, this is decision-making time for Nico and Akel. They've got a kit. There is no utility, however.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Sure, 9Pandas only have flashes, but that could even be enough just to absolutely confirm this. Delay them once again by a couple of seconds. With how they're positioning themselves here, TSM, I do think they're going for maybe aggressive exits. That's kind of how I see it. They are joining up together, to be fair, in church, though.
Late retake?
Late retakes have worked before. I can completely shock them because they're just thinking they're away with the mixer right now. They've won this round comfortably, and Akel's still got that kit, but unfortunately he's kind of lost. And there's now no time for the defuse, even with the 2 kills. Fair play. He will go down with the ship, but it's all good. They've won the round. And yeah, that was really messy because of how they sort of had to fight Top Banana and then, of course, front side. So many flashes in play. I think we'll see the beginnings of it right here. No, I'm telling a lie. This is the end of the round. But yeah, I think Shelfie getting both the trades. If he only gets one, I think TSM wins the round.
Yeah,
that's that difference.
Nice side the late retake as well, but I think it's one of those ones you probably don't try it on Inferno most of the time, especially with the finances as they are, because now, yeah, this is where we're at. Okay, though, Nico, nice shot. Zyphon, nice shot. Oh, hello. There we go. Dylan has decided that he's going to steady things up a bit here, just before it gets too sketchy. Nice triple on the Galil. I mean, the fact that TSM have even got 2 kills here is ridiculous. But that should be all they get now. The bomb will make its way over towards B. Dilladez knows he'll just hide in this corner. He's 2 HP. He's not going to take a bullet. And that should be job done.
Ever closer. They're 11-7 up on Nuke. They're now going to be 10-6 up on the decider. Can they get this over the line? Zyphon will find that AK. And he'll definitely try and save it, but there's still a chance he gets caught.
should be all right to hold on to it. I can't imagine Nine Pandas are going to hunt that hard. They're not financially set up for it, especially considering this was a full USP buy and they let 2 kills slip away. There's a couple of rifles, they won't be moving forward. So, yeah, they're just going to hold on to what they got. Allow Zyphon to hold on to his AK. He's a dangerous man to let have it, but at a 4-round lead, they feel it's worth the risk. And it is starting to get towards do or die time now for TSM. Despite their best efforts, they are losing control of this decisive map. Question is, what can they do about it? It feels like they do need to change up this CT side, though. They're just getting picked off a little too easily. Where is the aggression? Where is the proactivity going to come from? Akel's got the AWP in his hands. He's taking it over towards the A-bomb site. Can he make some magic happen?
TSM again. It just feels like so many games of theirs where not all of the pieces deliver at once. He's having a rough game again. But Acor had a slow map 2. Looking to refresh into map 3, and he's doing pretty well. Opens around Zyphon. That is the star power I always talk about with him. Just happy to swing onto kind of his counterpart entry in a way in Wrestle. And he wins the duel this time. Flash toward long 2 to send Zyphon in for more information. So they've got a 5 versus 3. They're very stock solid now. If Nine Pandas go B fast now, they've got a chance because they'll be 3v2.
If they can get if they can cleanly get the entries here, then they're really in for a chance. They've got the util to try and do it as well. 2 smokes will lock the angles. Question is what the CT's got to counter, and there it is. Counter smoke goes down with 40 seconds on the clock. Still going to line it up. Still going to give it a go here on the T side, Nine Pandas. It is just a game of timing. Sierra's got 1 HE. Valde has got another smoke to try and stall this one out even longer, but I don't think Nine Pandas would respect it even if it came out. And indeed, there's the HE. Lovely shot from Valde, and that may well be it. Bombs out in no man's land. The economy will be able to bounce back with another buy. 2 saved AKs would do well to hold on to. So, yeah, we're going to back out of this situation. TSM will have their 7th. They will get something going here on the CT side. The question is, how much longer can they hold on to it? 5 rifles saved is big.
Yep. That is the big plus. Trying to save as much util as possible as well. Obviously, if possible, you would definitely choose the mollies over the incendiaries. CT incendiaries are trash right now in the current meta, I'm afraid. They work, just, you know,
badly.
On Inferno, not as well as they used to. If they were still $500 and they reverted them back, I would say that would be pretty fair, I think. But that's not the state of them right now. They're a lot smaller and end a lot faster.
Great swing. Good damage done, and Resot has actually managed to open things up through the smoke on Banana. This is where it gets dangerous now. Acor tagged up. Sierra gone over towards the B bomb site. Resot. He wanted that pick. Couldn't quite spot the head. Nine Pandas. 5v4 very early on in proceedings can start to manipulate the map, work the rotations to their advantage. That's exactly what they're doing here. 2 players still nestled in towards Banana, giving you an opportunity to double back to make the rotation play. Utility still here to try and keep the CTs honest at A. And the rest of the team double back. It is all Valde here. Smoke goes down. Buys himself some time. Buys a rotation. They're starting to think about the possibility here. Acor will make his way round. But how much can he do on that AWP, and how long can Valde buy with this M4A1? Flashes to try and get him out into the angle, do well, but it's a 1-for-1, and Acor is smoked off. Teammates miles away from the fight. It's another one where they're just going to have to back away.
Pain, but it is what it is on Inferno for Acor. He was there, he rotated in. I would say Valde kind of does the right thing. I've been very critical of him today for many reasons, just for being static, I guess.
Yep.
But for me, I think he does absolutely the right things there. He re-smokes. He then obviously goes to pick up the one more that's been dropped for him. And then he goes for a peek, knowing they're probably just going to disrespect those smokes anyway, so there's no point re-smoking it, and maybe even then getting caught with utility drawn. So he tries for something, he gets his one, but Nine Panda is just too strong. They have another 11-7 to try and get over the line here.
Well, we've been here a few times. Final timeout for TSM. Final opportunity to make adjustments. And if we're being honest, probably their final opportunity to have significant impact on this map if it goes wrong. 2,400 loss bonus. They have invested near enough entirely into this round on 3 players. They're just about to be able to get a half decent buy on the last, but it wouldn't be pretty. Wouldn't be pretty at all if this one goes south. This is do or die time now. Who will step up and be counted? Couple of slow games here. Nico, we spoke about him spinning up on Dust2. He had a huge amount of impact on Nuke. Now he's gone quiet. Sierra not far ahead. To be fair, it's not that different on Nine Pandas. These two teams have really mirrored themselves. And mirrored each other this series. They have been swinging punch for punch, if we're honest. But every time, it's just felt like Nine Pandas have maybe had a little more in the locker, a little bit of something special.
It's funny,
early util exchange.
Because we both said that at the beginning of the series, before we even went live, that they're both kind of mirror each other with their recent results and how we feel about their form and stuff. Crazy, we got something right. Put it down. Here's the round, though, for TSM to stay in touch. Bombs will drop T-steps. There's no confirmation or any idea stuck with just yet. It looks like TSM once again are willing to give up a lot of banana control and just kind of leave one player on site. Like that's caught them off guard a few times. Good jiggle from Dilladez in toward the apartments. They figured out now where Acor is playing from again. They'll look to take top mid.
Been solid at this Nine Pandas. Bracket control has worked well for them. This time it's Zyphon tucked in. It's a one and done. And that leaves the pressure on these two site players, Nico and Acor. With it all to do, Acor has been big, Nico has struggled. Can they combine to make something magic inside of this A site? Nice shot for one. Acor's isolated though, and he will be ran down. Buys the 2-on-2. Surely they have to give this a go. Surely you cannot let series points slip on a save. 1 HE on Result is all the utility this T side has got. A Molotov from Valde could well clear out the pit. There's no counter smoke for it. It would be all on Dilladez's swing. Does he dare get it out? Nice HE. There's the follow-up. There's the swing. Sierra hits the shot, and it's all on Resol. He's been monstrous, and he lands the first. Valde has to hunt him down, and he won't find it. Headshot angle means headshots galore. A triple kill for Resol. An AWP to be saved, and 9 Pandas on series point.
He is our player to watch, but he's kind of had middling performances over the course of the series. He's had important moments, don't get me wrong, but it's not like he set the world on fire. That is the play, and that is the reason we picked him. Just the ability to pop up with rounds like that. Huge from Wrestle. Perfect angle being played. Perfect adjustment of his crosshair on both those 2 kills. The fact that the first player, of course, jumped on the box and the second didn't. A bit of a whiff duel with the AWPs in mid. Amusing after the skill of the previous round. But Nine Pandas now are ever closer.
Aggressive in towards Banana. You can understand it. They want to change the picture, but it's not working out well for them, TSM. A 2-for-1 trade against. Good damage at least. But someone has got to capitalize on it. And that damage won't really mean a thing to Acor on the AWP. Posted up for this exact swing. Needs a hero play. Playing around the pillar. Nice shot for one. Backs out. Sets up again. Being flanked out from the apartments all the while. Shoulder peek, wild. Just about gets away with it, but the flash, inch perfect. Acor alone. A one-man army inside of this site. He's landed the first. The Julies are out to try and deal with him, and Shalfie will put him down. It leaves Zyphon. He has been a monster for TSM in this series so far. Can he do it again? iDisbalance tagged up. Shalfie working his way around to Big Pit. The crossfire established. All on the hero. Looking for the first, and he won't find anything. iDisbalance finishes the job. 13-7, it will end. A 2-1 victory for the Nine Pandas. TSM, perhaps disappointingly, go out with a little bit of a whimper. Inferno, not a happy place for them, and it continues to cause more and more nightmares. Nine Pandas continue. TSM drop out of the lower bracket.
Yeah, Nine Pandas still in with that.